Hello, and thank you for joining us. This is the Political Matrix. I am here with my colleagues, L. Latham and Cy Lawson. I see Kelly. Kelly is ready to get this show started. She says, "Let's go. It's been a crappy college football day, so I'm ready for talking about something different." I completely understand. Couple of topics that I figure we'll push through and get out of the way really quickly. As we know, whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, to certain aspects of the population, you're either looked at as less than, other than, better than, and we're definitely looking like a different, separate society. Um, and that cannot be illustrated any better than a certain prime minister. Elle, would you like to fill them in on what we're talking about here?
Oh yeah, Jacinda, Lady Jacinda from New Zealand. She said that everybody's pretty much going to be separated into two classes. She basically said that because she answered someone's question asking that if that was going to be the case, and she was like, "Yeah, that's going to be the case," or whatever the hell she sounds like. I saw it on the twits, the Twitter.
And that's what's up to us.
Let me get that.
And I see we got our brother Shadow Band in the house. He said Baldwin over here arguing for fun control at home and blasted fools visiting my state. Interesting.
I sent the status of her saying that, so we can watch it.
Let's see, Chris, do you have it there, my man? And I'll put it up so they can hear her words in the literal. Hey, Variant, how we doing?
I'm getting on it.
Oh, Variant.
What up in the chat?
Yeah, make sure to say hi to everybody in the chat. I'll be right back.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, you can go ahead and start, Chris.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was just gonna say I have the video up.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna share the screen right now. I should have logged in under you so I would be able to do it quicker.
Yes, that way you can have full command and control, sir.
I know, right?
There it is. I'm add it to the stream right now. I'm sorry, we're waiting on still waiting on our brother Emmanuel. I know he'll hop in here sooner or later. So without further ado, let's get to what the nutty elites are saying.
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna hit play on this video. Let's take the mute off. All right.
You basically see it. This is going to be like almost like I you probably don't see like this in the 2 times last week for people if you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you have all these rights. If you are vaccinated,
that's what it is.
Yep. Can you just so you basically see it. This is going to be like almost like you probably don't see like this in 2 different classes of people if you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you have all these rights. If you are vaccinated,
that is what it is. So
Can you just so you basically see it. This is going to be like almost like
it's just going to keep playing.
People, if you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you have all these rights. If you are vaccinated,
oh, I didn't realize it was that quick.
Yeah, it's quick.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Agreed immediately.
Yo, that shit is nuts. Yo, these people are on some different shit. Oh, let me turn off this speaker real quick. All right, if there's an echo.
She's a contributor to the WEF, the World Economic Forum. She's on their list on the website.
I'm not surprised. You know, all these people are part of that group, or you know, the one under it, whether it be CFR or you know, whatever these other organizations are, they're all part of it some way, somehow. They're not leaders of these countries because they're not connected, right? So, she's just another one who's going to go along with it. I'm pretty sure she's probably even used Build Back Better before, or at least within the last
Yes.
6 months or so.
She has. There's the compilation and she's in it. I got her page so we can fact check myself. I'll send it. Her World Economic Forum page. That's how you know you've made it. When you're on World Economic Forum's website.
I know. I see Marcus Cage wore the Incredible Hulk shirt. So you won't like me when I'm angry.
I figure since everybody's always calling me Marcus Rage, I let them know what it's really like. Oh yeah, I guess I should go on ahead and lead in with some of the topics that we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the Alec Baldwin situation, of course. And I'm pretty sure that Elle and Chris will have a couple of different, probably have some more information on it than I have. And I guess we'll just all give our thoughts and opinions, and hopefully, excuse me, hopefully things like this will not continue to happen. I noticed I know you guys noticed Pfizer in the headline. I got a couple of videos that I want to bring up about Pfizer, and we'll get to those later on. I'm pretty sure Chris and Elle saw them. I put them in our private chat. The update and the ongoing saga with Netflix, that we definitely need to talk about a little bit more with these protests that just happened recently. I know Chris has more than enough to say about that. And then we got to get on Fauci. Fauci has been, Fauci's, it's just like he's like a rotten onion. Each layer you keep peeling back, you realize the rot just keeps going all the way through. So we're going to talk a little bit about Fauci and more. I figure we'll get to some of those things before we get all the way into it. One of those and more, which I noticed, Russia and China for the very first time. Oh, there we go. Sweet. And if you guys notice a little different setup, I'm on my phone, so it's a little bit different view. Oh, excuse me. How we doing,
I like
E?
the shirt, Marcus. I'm good, man. I like the shirt.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Since my man is in here, I'll bring up one of the topics that he sent to me. Pretty sure you guys can all look it up. We won't call it by this name. We'll just say the animal version of what Joe Rogan took as part of his mixture of different medications that he took.
His treatment.
His treatment, part of his treatment. They apparently have an apple flavor for the animals. And I decided to wear, this just is fit in so many different ways, Marcus Rage, like they say, and Thomas says, it has a ring to it. So I guess, hey, if it's gonna stick, then hey, I'll just let it go. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But green, because it looks like they were, even though it doesn't say green apple, it has a green apple. So I'm guessing they're saying maybe a green apple flavor to it. So I wish that would make sense because horses do like green apples. But if you guys have not heard about it yet, please go and look it up. The medication that Joe Rogan took, the animal version, not the one which is for people. The animal version has now an apple flavor to it. So wanted to bring that up. So far we've talked about the Jacinda Prime Minister of New Zealand. We talked about her a little bit. What's
Okay.
up, Signs? Let's see, we got Signs in the building.
What's
And
up,
then
signs?
a couple of topics that I had on my little rundown I wanted to talk about. The volcano that's been erupting. I'm sure Elle has a couple of thoughts on that too. It has been just constantly growing and growing and growing, the severity of it. So yeah, Jacinda Ardane, I guess that's her name. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and we all obviously do not like her game. But that volcano situation is getting quite interesting over there. I was watching it from the start, and now it seems like it's starting to rise to the attention of a lot of other media outlets. So, Elle, could you kind of give people a little bit of heads up on what we're talking about as far as that volcano that's been erupting over there? I believe it's La Palma.
Yeah, La Palma. There was a crazy eruption and then also earthquake, multiple earthquakes, according to some people on the ground. But there's like this crazy image of the lava spilling over, like on camera. It's crazy to look at, and just a whole bunch of crazy images. Like the last few days, it's just been nutso. And they were saying how there could be like a mega tsunami soon there, but then the experts are saying, oh, well, it might not happen, So
I'm
some
not
people saying it
sure.
might happen, some people saying it might not.
I'm not sure who it was, but it was somebody in our chat. I believe it might have been Science
Yes.
who was talking about it last week, the possibility of a tsunami. And I've been wondering
I think
about
I
that
asked
all.
you, Marcus. I think I asked you a question about it last week. If we were talking about the show itself, I think I was the one who asked you. I want to
Yep,
know your
yep.
I want to know your particular perspective on it
Yeah,
because
I mean, the fact that it's continuously spilling out, it's not just going to keep going to the coastline and just because it's literally recreating the coastline of that part of Spain. I mean, and if you look at it, it's literally like apocalyptic watching it. And at first, it started off with just the lava. It's kind of made a track burned all the way through to the Atlantic Ocean. Um, from there, oh, never mind. From there, at Atlantic Ocean, it's literally start building like this crust layer there, and some of those different effects. I don't think that you can just have that and oh well, it just some ash and it's cooling here perfectly fine, and it's not going to have any effects on you know the sea life, or possible tsunamis or other earthquakes, affecting tectonic plates. Yeah, nothing else could happen. It's just lava. That's what we're hearing from a lot of news agencies. So, um, I think that stuff is I think it's only a matter of time before, cause creates effect. Any thoughts on that, Chris?
I mean,
No.
I've been Marcus. I just put something up on the screen for you to share, by the way. But
Um,
courtesy of L. I've been watching it. As you know, Tedros on Twitter has been talking about this a lot, in on his website, the Guion Journal, and his tweets. I guess if a portion of that island falls into the water, we can expect a tsunami, according to him and some other people. However, what L just had us share, it says the mega tsunami hypothesis doesn't really carry water. This I haven't really heard, so I'll stop talking and let L get in here.
okay, well, it's from the U.S. Coast Guard. So, El, what say you?
Well, see, there's like differing opinions, but they're really trying to squash this idea that there's going to be a mega tsunami. In this article that's very lengthy, and I did not read, but it also shows the updates at the bottom, so you can see what's happening there. But it's just, it feels like they're worried and they're trying to squash the rumors and trying to be like, oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's not going to be that bad. But you know what? My issue is like when you live in a place like that, and there is a lot of talk, not a lot of talk, but literally when I looked up La Palma, all I got was somebody talking about DEWs, direct energy weapons. And like the way the radar or whatever looked, or one page that they were looking at. And then it turned out to be kind of debunked within another thread. But the fact that even if it's like a direct energy weapon or something, like I would get the fuck out. I don't know. That's how I feel about it, is that if I lived near a volcano or a very difficult area to live, or like hurricane kind of like weather, I wouldn't want to live there anymore, because then you end up leaving, you evacuate, and then you end up coming back, and then the cycle begins again, and you end up in the same situation. So I feel like there have been tens of thousands of evacuations from there, and it's a really crazy situation with a lot of like who knows what's going to happen next. So I would get out of Dodge and stay out of Dodge if I were them. But a lot of people are really used to living on the island, and they like it there, and they can't see living anywhere else. I'm just not of that mind. I would never be that close to a specific area. But I like to travel, so that's my thing.
Hey, what's up, Misha? I noticed a couple of comments here I wanted to read on top of this. Put it up on the screen. Sign says, like a shelf turned vertical, then the buildup of water between these shelf layers, cracking them below sea level and crashing down under the water cliffs, and you get the rest. I mean, like we were saying, they can try to say all they want. Oh, well, don't have to worry about anything. It's just some stuff going on, and hey, it'll be fine. If I lived near that area, yeah, I would find it a good time to get the hell out of Dodge. Varian says, the same thing happened with the last eruption in Hawaii. Hopefully, this one doesn't end badly either. The worry is over the landslide that is said to be inevitable. Just need to monitor. And what I believe they're doing is they're intentionally trying to dampen, worries and concerns, so they don't have a freak out of people rushing out just in case it doesn't happen. Because if things don't happen, they don't want that to affect the economy. That's my theory. I could be wrong. They could genuinely have, we have this under control, but I don't think anybody was predicting that this would still be going on either at this point. So we don't know what will happen as this continues and what kind of effects that we could possibly be dealing with.
And this will affect the supply chain as well, I read. So
yes.
That's ironic.
It would massively affect the supply chain. You're correct.
Fruits, and specifically, like it's a very fruit-centric area.
Well, also, just ships going across that part of the Atlantic.
Look, Kelly said her house will be on the way to Japan. If that shit happens, I'll be Aquaman, I guess, because we here in Florida, we'd be fucked.
Well, you got to remember, it's not going to really affect people. That's not the La Palma wouldn't really affect people on the West Coast very much. It's on the Atlantic side.
All of us, it would affect us on the East Coast. Marcus is correct. I saw Tedderos's.
It would affect. It would affect a very, very congested, very populated center of America. The East Coast is very, very highly populated. I know a lot of people think about how populated California is. But when you have that whole Northeast area, how it slopes all the way down, it stays populated until you hit the Carolinas, and then into Atlanta, which I don't think people realize. Atlanta is not really that far from the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, so they would feel effects even though they're not directly on that coastline. I mean, for instance, you get to like certain parts of certain parts of Georgia, like Brunswick, for instance, where Brunswick actually the waterways open up into South Carolina. So those are things that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to things like that. What else do we have here? I guess you guys are gonna be watching my finger in front of the camera all night, but, but no worries. That's just like me telling you off.
I'm waiting for the La Brea thing to happen in real life. When is that happening? Because they wouldn't put that sinkhole thing in the show if it wasn't going to happen eventually in LA.
Stein says the scientist theory has been mostly debunked about the Canary Island caused tsunami, but for those on the island, screwed either way. Bingo.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
is
I've heard that.
100% true. Let's go on to another one of my topics. We talked about New Zealand. We talked about the medication. We talked about the volcano. Russia, China. That Russia, China just made history. The first time they've ever had joint military exercises together on the seas. So, and it's not only on the seas, they're doing a lot of joint exercises and shipping a lot of products from Russia to China and vice versa. So that's something that should be catch a lot of attention, I believe. Also, I believe, what was it? Russia is, or Venezuela has been supplying um, Russia with more fuel. So I don't know exactly what that means, but you should keep it all should keep it all in mind. That said, I guess we can go on ahead and get to one of our main topics.
Hey, I had something to say about that.
Sorry, go ahead.
About Russia specifically. I
Mhm.
put it in the chat for us to look at. But the news came in on the 13th of October that Russia was joining the Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution Network from the WEF.
Hmm.
How odd.
Yeah, Marcus, it's up. Share the screen.
Okay. I also wonder how much of Russia joining part of that is a head fake too. Because everybody's going to have to be involved in this all of the, I guess, so-called developed nations will all have to be involved in this fourth revolution. And I mean, it only makes sense if you have one who's getting involved in it and they're going to benefit from it. You kind of have to join on it or else get left behind. So it's kind of like when everybody was going from coal power, coal to using more oil. So it's kind of one of those things where you're just going to have to keep up. But how much of them being involved, in really being a true ally of the WEF, that part I'm still a little skeptical on. But I don't know. What's your thoughts, El, Chris, and Emmanuel?
Well, there must be something in it for Russia. There's probably some quid pro quo going on. They'll get to use the AI in their own way for their own use.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We could all use a little AI, right? A little more, a
No,
few
right?
more DARPA robots. Robot dogs with guns attached to them.
I know we
Another
keep
thing I
hearing that,
wanted.
right? We keep hearing about the robot dogs with guns and new NYPD tech, new police dogs, right? So
In Hawaii.
yeah,
And
police
that
dogs.
goes. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying those police dogs are those robot police dogs. I heard about those.
I have a story
Well,
about that too.
Well, a little bit of info about it, which is even more disturbing to me, is they are able to shoot roughly accurately up to over 3,000 feet. So I mean, not yeah, 3,000 feet, which I don't know if most people realize. There's what 5,280 feet in a mile. So it's saying that these things are going to be able to pick you off from quite a bit of a distance. So that's something that we all should be a little bit spooked and scared about. I'm just wondering how long before, the next protest shows up and these dogs start showing up. Or
Yeah.
if it gets to a point of vaccine passports, these dogs will be asking for your vaccine passport.
Well, what they're doing now in Hawaii with these Boston Dynamics robots, I believe, that started in Singapore to do this stuff. They're doing the COVID test thing, like giving COVID tests and shit. It's pretty crazy.
Well, I know I'm not sure which Asian nation, but they're already using some form of machines to deal with COVID. And I believe they're using the ones that we've seen, the Boston Dynamics ones, which are doing the flips and all that. I guess we'll say the more humanoid version, which that's starting to almost remind me a little bit of like what would we call it, a rough version of iRobot, in the early scenes. And then not too long ago, I don't know if you guys follow all of my different Twitter handles. I believe on my Hebrew apologetics one, I put out about the car that they just Audi's new prototype car. It looks eerily similar to the car from iRobot, including the steering wheel, which literally comes out, has voice commands and a lot of other stuff. And it's a auto drive vehicle. So it's getting a little creepy out there.
Yeah, I shared two of the stories about the dogs. So Spot is the one that they used in Hawaii that was used in Singapore not too long ago, like a year ago. And now it's here. Yay. From Boston Dynamics.
See how that looks. Craziness with the camera, sorry.
Ghost Robotics did the gun dogs.
It's there, Marcus.
Alrighty.
Somebody gotta say something, fill up the silence. But look, this is
No,
what
I
we
mean
got.
when I first heard about the robot dogs, I thought it would help like I thought it would help more service dog. I thought it would be more of a service dog type of deal. It was like, they can't. There's no way they could make the robot dog. I thought there's no way they could make the robot dog violent. I mean, there's no way they could put a gun to that thing. And man,
that was a Black Mirror episode.
Mirror.
Metalhead.
Oh my god.
No,
and I had forgotten all about it too until you brought it up.
And we all know that, this is how I see all that stuff. I see it all as predictive programming. It's all just trying to get us prepared for what's coming down the pike. Thomas has a comment here, back onto the Russia China situation. Says U.S. government is forcing China and Russia to join forces militarily to counter America's naval presence near Taiwan, and China and military bases near Russia. What was it? U.S. wants another Cold War. Wow, they're gonna get another Cold War. Good gracious, we got a lot of stuff being shared all over the place.
Do you read that? It says robot dog with wings. So it's bad enough that they're gonna use this dog to shoot at you.
This is robot dog with wings.
Yes, now they're gonna put that damn.
So it can shoot and fly. Awesome. Shoot and fly. Okay.
That's like another
Thank
Black
you. I
Mirror
needed those
episode.
nightmares. Thank you. I needed those nightmares. I was just itching for that image, that nightmare. Thank you.
I'll take the hospitality robots in the hospital over this any day.
I don't want none of these damn motherfuckers. I don't want none of
I
this
don't want
shit.
any of them, but like at least they're like
Not
honest
even the little
about their
cute.
intentions.
Wait, not even the little cute robot with wheels, Marcus, that
No,
looks at you with that dead,
no.
creepy
What about the
stare.
delivery bots? Aren't they
What's
the
her
best?
name?
I just want to kick them.
What's the name? I don't want the one from Spaceballs that was on roller skates. I don't want the one from the
Right?
Jetsons. I don't want none. I don't want the one from Rocky IV. I don't want none of these damn robots. Honestly,
I think it was
I mean,
Amazon or Facebook that did that little robot thing where you could interact with them like a person. I can't remember the name, but I looked
what
at it
about
and the
that?
first thing I wanted, huh?
I mean, think about it. How many of these movies were they're making about robot like companions? Also, so
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
hey,
they
They did
go
that for a
against
long
them.
time.
And then they rise of the machines.
Right. And they rise up.
I mean, it's like.
Skynet.
Are
I
y'all
mean,
trying to make Terminator happen? It's like they're like, please, we want to fight robots one day.
That was
That's what
predictive
it seems
programming.
like it's going on here.
right. That would be the example of the predictive programming you're talking about, where all the Terminator films, they were preparing you for like when the robots rose
For the
up
singularity.
and nuclear war and
I mean,
pathetic.
well, and here's the thing about it. One of these days, well, I'm going to and keep an eye out for it since I have bad audio on that Matrix breakdown. I am going to be redoing the Matrix breakdown. I probably am just going to do it, record it, and then upload it. But after that, and I finished because I'm going to do all the Matrix movies before the Matrix comes out. I'm going to show how it was told to me how the movies are all fit together. And when I mean the movies fitting together, I'm talking about the Terminators series with iRobot and what was it? Terminator, iRobot, and I'm missing one other movie in there. Help me out if you guys can remember. Terminator, iRobot, and it's one other one I'm missing. I can't remember. Where these
Is it
movies?
Blade Runner? Maybe.
No, oh, duh! I just said it, The Matrix. How it's basically, and I guess I can loosely like throw it out, but I'll kind of lay out my point and explain it a little bit better. Um, how they said it happens is, of course, you have like Sarah Connor, in the very beginning. Um, that's showing the robot coming from the future to try to enact, killing off the leader of the resistance early. Well, her son, John Connor, is supposed to be a form of eventually John Anderson, which becomes Neo. Um, that character, which Will Smith plays in iRobot, is supposed to represent uh, John Connor in an alias, already having his resistance and fighting against the robots at an early stage. And then in the Matrix, he's passed on and his body has come back into a new being, and that's how he becomes the one. So, hey, it's very interesting, that theory how it's played out, and I'll try to link it together. My reasonings on why I believe they all fit and congeal. So what are some of your thoughts on my crazy logic? And I didn't miss your comments there, Kelly. I see it says am I a bad person for not giving a shit? If Russia has a overabundance of EY has an abundance of gasoline while American gas prices go up. No, I this is the new Cold War. It's coming back. Hillary was trying to push it before, and sometimes, and I'm not a Russia gator. I'm not one of those people. But what I'm saying is, if you keep poking the bear, ironically, they are the bear, but you keep poking the bear, eventually the bear is going to snap back, and then you're going to have to fight the bear. And so, by them always Russia, 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 Russia all the damn time, now you're going to make now you're going to have a problem with Russia. So, I mean, I've blabbed on quite a bit. So, some of your thoughts, what's some of your thoughts on what I've said?
I think Russiagate is garbage too. I've always thought Russiagate is garbage. I mean, they're sitting here trying to they're trying to redeem Hillary. You know, been trying to redeem Hillary Clinton in like the last couple of months, and it's just gotten sad at this point. I'm just like, you're already getting your war. Why do you need the redeemer? I see it now. I mean, that whole conflict with Taiwan and China, they talked about that for what, a couple of days, maybe, and then it was gone. Nobody ever brought it up again. We started hearing all this.
They don't want to talk about it, E.
Yeah, they really don't. They don't want. So now they're bringing it up, and I'm like, well, if you look at them trying to say, you know, what was that angle they were trying to pull? Hillary Clinton was right about everything, and I was like, no, she wasn't.
That bitch is wrong about everything.
I know. So she was not right about everything.
What it is she's literally the person who, like, back in the day, remember before the fire departments were before they were under state control and they were private control, and firefighters literally used to go out and set fires so that they can go and put out the fire and then charge you for the bill. And that almost feels like what she's doing. She's trying to start a situation so that she can go and fight the situation. And people are like, well, Hillary was ahead of the curve on this, so we got to bring Hillary in to whether she gets in the presidency, whether she gets in the official capacity, she has to have her grubby hands involved in it somehow. I have not seen signs. I haven't seen Vice, so I'm going to have to check that out. That's the Bruce Willis one, correct? Definitely see Minority Report and Surrogates, and I'm probably just gonna have to have one of these. Probably gonna have to have a couple of shows where I do breakdowns on some of this stuff. Misha says, and Dune takes place after humans defeat and eradicate AI, which is true fantasy. It could not have been said better. Because we're at
once the resurgence from HBO is just. I mean, that's just hilarious to me. It kills me.
I mean, once you open up Pandora's box, you can't put it back in there. I mean, I don't see anything ever reverting back to how it was even 5 years ago, or definitely not 10 to 20 years ago. And that's how things are going to constantly go on with all these things that are happening. And technically, it's maximum overdrive machines. Got DJ Elf in the building. What's up, Ed? Good to see you, my brother. Let's see. So, did we have anything else we wanted to get into with the Russia China? Well, this Russia China thing, which you were talking about, it's not going anywhere. They might try to sweep it under the rug and not try to talk about it, thinking it'll cool itself down. But it's not going anywhere. What's up, Mr. Streets? The reason why it's not going anywhere is because China, and anybody who's familiar with the way China does business, China works out what their plans are going to be for the next 20 years, next 25 years. So what we're going through right now is stuff that they've already planned to be doing. So they don't really care about how this country reacts or that country reacts. They're literally like that person who has goals in mind, and they don't really give a damn who's there and who thinks they can stop those goals. And China has been decided that they want Taiwan. And they've already said, whether we have to hit it hook or crook, we're going to have Taiwan. I mean, it's the same thing that was going on with Russia and Ukraine. They're going to have it one way or the other. And it's just a matter of Russia's trying to be careful and trying to. It's kind of like Jenga, you know. They're trying to pull that little cube out slowly without collapsing everything.
I hate
China
that
is
game.
like trying to get Shrek to play the game of Operation. He is not going to be delicate with anything. That hard, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
China just don't give a damn. They feel like, you know what? It's right here. United States, you literally have to come all the way around the world to come and mess with us. And New Zealand, Australia, if you guys want to get in here, you can get pimp slapped up too. That's their mentality, and that's what all these drills and stuff are going into. So, it might be something that's not really catching a lot of attention, but it ain't going nowhere. I tell you that.
No.
See, what'd you say, L? I'm so glad I went when I did. Signs it was a place my deceased stepfather wanted to go. I guess I missed where you guys are talking about going, but or
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Yeah, I got a feeling that's a place where I'm probably never, ever, ever going to get to. It looks beautiful, but I got a feeling I'll never, ever get to see it.
Well, they don't want anyone to go there anymore now. The way that they've restricted everything. Just killing their tourism businesses, these people.
Also, it's just even though I'm in California, it's just too damn expensive to go out there.
Right.
I got
Hawaii,
a good deal. It was a few years ago.
I see my brother Andres is in the building. One of these times I'm going to have to try to, and I apologize for sending you that message a little bit late. I don't know if you read it or not. I was going to try to have him come on one of these times. I want to get Andres on, and I want to try to get Thomas on here one of these times, if they're available and if they feel like hopping on here. And then, of course, you know, some of our buddies out there, other commentators. I like to bring in some more guests. I'm pretty sure that the audience likes having having a couple of fresh faces every now and then. You know, probably get tired of hearing me run my damn mouth all the time. But I guess without further ado, we probably should get on to some of these others. Get on to our bigger and main topics. Well, oh wait a minute, that's funny. Oh, I gotta read that. With Biden and Kamala in charge, Russia and China will have nothing to worry about. Exactly.
And the new
There we go.
the military general, Rachel Levine. She'll take care of things.
Oh yeah, Atris. Put the name of your channel in the chat. I know for you guys who are not familiar, Thomas's channel is Thomas Oklahoma. Hopefully you guys can remember and be able to type that in there. But Atris, can you put yours in there? That way people can know how to find your channel. I watched one of your videos not too long ago. It was the apocalyptic dream. I think that's what the kind of running theme has been. So it's been kind of interesting. So definitely want to get you on here to talk with you live. See, Sign says, I've been trying to find a deal because of the Hawaii Bowl, but no dice. Yeah, it is expensive. But you are Oregon. It might be a little bit better than flying out of LA. Most bowl game stadiums are empty until after Christmas. You think they tried it? Oh, sorry. You're getting into football talk. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Alec Baldwin situation.
Yeah, that was messed up, man. That was crazy.
What all do we know at this point in time? What I know.
I have a story for that. The latest update.
Oh well, go on ahead and fill us in.
Let me give you the screen share. Alec Baldwin. Not that one yet. Not that one yet. That one's in the queue. Oh no, we can do that if you want to circle back, but if not,
no, we can come back to that one. No, let's do the Alec Baldwin one. Uh, so yeah, what's the Alec Baldwin?
It's LA Times. They got the scoop. So it's pretty crazy. I'm going to put a couple of things in there because there's a lot to it. But I'll put this in the queue because this is pretty crazy, but I'll mention this later and then we'll fact check it.
Is this it right now?
Alec Baldwin, yes. It says Alec Baldwin. Yes. So reading that, they were having gun safety issues and misfires days before the fatal shooting, according to crew members. So, written by Meg James and Amy Kaufman from the LA Times, October 22nd, 2021. I'm going into the future. Hours before he was fatally shot, hours before Alec Baldwin fatally shot a cinematographer on the New Mexico set of Rust with a prop gun, a half dozen camera crew workers walked off the set to protest working conditions. The camera operators and their assistants were frustrated by the conditions, seems like a strike to me, surrounding the low-budget film, including complaints about long hours, long commutes, and waiting for their paychecks, according to 3 people familiar with the matter who were not authorized to comment. So it says in here, I read the whole thing, but that they were told to go miles and miles away to Santa Fe, or to the set near Santa Fe, and not stay at a hotel because they couldn't afford it, I guess, and just commute back and forth between the location and where they live, which is absolutely insane and not something that usually happens with a movie in that regard. So this is at the Bonanza Creek Ranch, where the crew members were concerned about 2 accidental prop gun discharges. And even Baldwin's stunt double accidentally fired 2 rounds Saturday after being told that the gun was cold, which should have been a fucking clue that things were going awry. Lingo for a weapon that doesn't have any ammunition is what it says, including blanks. And then 2 crew members who witnessed the episode told the LA Times this. There should have been an investigation into what happened, a crew member said. There were no safety meetings. There was no assurance that it wouldn't happen again. All they wanted to do was rush. And then a colleague was so alarmed by the prop gun misfires that they sent a text message to the unit production manager. We've now had 3 accidental discharges. This is super unsafe, is what it said. And then the safety of our cast and crew is the top priority of Rust Productions and everyone associated with the company. Clearly, Rust Movie Productions said in a statement, though we were not aware. We were not made aware of any official complaints concerning weapon or prop safety on set. We will be conducting an internal review of our procedures while production is shut down. We will continue to cooperate with the Santa Fe authorities in their investigation and offer mental health services to the cast and crew during this tragic time. And then it talks about the misfire and everything that happened with Baldwin. And crew members had already shouted cold gun on the set. The filmmaking team was lining up its camera angles and had yet to retreat to the video village, an on-set area where the crew gathers to watch filming from a distance via a monitor. Instead, the B camera operator was on a dolly with a monitor checking out the potential shots. And Helena Hutchins was also looking at the monitor from over the operator's shoulder, as was the movie's director, Joel Souza, who was crouching just behind her. Baldwin removed the gun from his holster once without incident, but the second time he did so, ammunition flew toward the trio around the monitor. The projectile whizzed back by the camera operator, but penetrated Hutchins near her shoulder, then continued through to Souza. Hutchins immediately fell to the ground as crew members applied pressure to her wound in an attempt to stop the bleeding. Then she died after that, and the Associated Press reported that Baldwin was handed This is interesting. A loaded weapon by an assistant director who indicated it was safe to use in the moments before the actor fired it, according to court records. The assistant director did not know the prop gun was loaded with live rounds, according to a search warrant filed in a Santa Fe County court. So this is interesting to know because that is highly unusual, according to a lot of gun safety, aficionados and like really veteran actors on Twitter and on in the world.
Is this the assistant director?
Who?
That
Did
guy on the screen?
Yes, that the next one down after Alec Baldwin. That is Joel Souza. That is the IMDb page of this assistant director. You can click on that and we can look at that for a second because it's connected.
Well, we don't really have to look into him,
Well, anyway, his name is Dave Halls, and oddly enough, after this incident happened, you saw on Twitter the first thing people were talking about was The Crow, and that horrible fate that befell the star of that
with Brandon Lee,
Bruce Lee's son, and it's funny that happened interesting because I looked at his resume and I did it on Twitter because Twitter people come out of the woodwork with all kinds of information. And I saw that somebody had his IMDb page and they were looking at it and they were like, oh, that's interesting. Because on his IMDb page was the sequel to The Crow, Salvation. So he was the assistant director for that film. So that's kind of odd. I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying that's kind of odd.
Yeah, I think that one, the Salvation one, I think that's like the third or fourth one when it like really got low budget.
Also, they should have stopped after the first one, in my opinion.
Because the death killed the franchise. It was supposed to be a big franchise, and the death pretty much all but.
Oh yeah, there it is. 2000, the year 2000, right?
No, and it's just the writing and everything with it went downhill.
4.9 out of 10 on IMDb. That's hilarious. Nobody asked for that. Anyway, other than that, there's Hannah Gutierrez Reed, who was not reached for comment, but was in charge of overseeing the gun props and known as the armorer. And there's a story from Jensen Ackles.
Can you pull her up though? Because I would like to see a little bit of her background. Who this
cinematographer you're talking about?
No, the armorer. Because as somebody with a lot of weapons experience, this sounds insane to me. All of this stuff that I'm hearing right now. I mean, the lack of safety that was going on with this is just mind-boggling. Hearing all of this together,
because they walked off. A few crew members walked off.
Hold that thought 1 second, Ambassador Scorpio. What do you mean? I'm a little confused by your statement. If you could type that in for us. Go ahead, El.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that later on in the article, they say that the crew was having so many issues, and a lot of them left, and then they brought in non-union crew members after that. So it's a whole big story, like striking and all kinds of stuff beforehand.
I'm curious, Ambassador Scorpio, which part is not credible? I'm just curious. I'm not trying to be facetious or anything. I'm curious. Are you saying the story itself? Are you saying what happened? I'm just confused at what exactly you're saying. That's all. And another comment: how many negligent hands did the prop pass through? Do we know? That is a great question. But more importantly, I'm trying to find out I want to find out what we can know about the armor, because for one, if you're doing a low budget film, why are you even using live rounds at all? Why are live rounds even on the set?
It's
That's
ridiculous.
one thing which I'm wondering. I know on some major blockbuster pictures when you have a lot more seasoned crew in, there are times when you use live fire for certain different scenes and how you're going to do it. I know that because I was going to go into the film industry years ago, and that was like an idea I had literally like 20 years ago about different ways of doing it. So just something I was thinking about.
Okay, I got another wowzers for you. Check out the chat, the private chat. I just found this about her. Rust armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed once gave unchecked gun to an 11-year-old actor. Report. She's in
Like,
trouble.
what is her background before she became an armor? How did she get qualified as an armor? Is this
Well,
somebody
her
who?
father was in the business, so that helps.
Yeah, but like, I mean, but even if your father's in the business, you had to
I
went
put
to
it up,
some kind of
Marcus.
weapons training school. You had to have something before they just make you an armorer out in Hollywood. I would hope. What were you saying, Chris?
No, I said I put the screen up, the link, so you could go ahead.
Oh, okay. Because I want to know more about like who is this woman? What is her qualifications? Like, is this just some kind of accident, or I mean, accident that she's even doing this? Is this somebody who was just like somebody who's completely inexperienced who should have never been in this position? Like, I'm trying to, I'm just, this isn't making sense to me. That how you
It
can
doesn't make
continuously
sense.
have these kind of problems.
The lack of
Uh,
training either, like the lack of like just the simplest thing where you always check the gun and you always fire it not at anyone else but like on the ground to check if it's got live rounds or not. And Jensen Ackles had like a thing that he was talking about Hannah. He was talking about how she talked to him about gun handling, and she was very laissez-faire about it and not really like responsive. But luckily, he had years and years of experience from Supernatural, and he's on the film too. And he was saying about the story where she was just like, okay, hold it here, do this. And she was just kind of like lazy about it. And he was like, all right, well, I got it. And kind of
um,
figured it out for himself.
Ambassador Scorpio says, what I mean is that these publications that are not true in the sense that they clearly don't make sense. I get that they don't make sense, um, but I mean, I don't really doubt that these people are just making up stories. Says Hollywood is the most controlled environment ever. Nothing happens by chance. But this isn't technically Hollywood either. This is a low budget film, which is not necessarily even in Hollywood. So that's also, there have been multiple different incidents which have happened in Hollywood, where people have gotten hurt, not always killed, but hurt,
Recently,
hurt. I mean, think about it. Actors break their arms and legs and all kind of stuff, and there's, malfunctions. Michael Jackson literally had his hair burned. All of these things happen.
Marcus,
There are always going to be, mistakes and stuff that goes on. It's just a matter of how much of this is an accident and how much of this is just over the top negligence is what I'm trying to understand here.
hey,
This is
Marcus,
this
I mean,
is
I guess my only question is, and I don't really care, but my only question is, why do they have why are these guns loaded?
they
Like,
shouldn't be.
doesn't seem to make sense.
Right. It shouldn't be. That's actually that shouldn't have actually have happened. It should have been.
Yeah,
That's what
like you're doing
I
a
mean,
movie, it's all fake. You're not shooting anybody, so what is it doing loaded on set? So if
that's
somebody's
what I asked.
playing,
Why is there even live ammunition on the set of this movie? Like, I'm trying to understand for what purposes were they even using live ammunition? Um, I can give for instance, Miami Vice. That's one I can think of off the top of my head where they use live ammunition. The reason why they use live ammunition is because, and for the scene where they use a live ammunition, it's the pier or harbor scene. For those who are familiar with the movie, or if you're not familiar with it, go and check it out. You'll see what they wanted to do is, and how they filmed it is, while the police officers were shooting from this vantage point, they're shooting across the distance, and it's camera angled at like a 45-degree angle, so it's not directly in front of they're not directly in front of any of the live fire. They're filming it from the side, and they're shooting off at basically into a controlled environment, and the other half of the shootout is being filmed shooting downward from those like ships and things like that to another controlled environment where nothing is at. Also making sure that they're not in the line of sight of fire. So then what they did is they spliced the scenes together to make it seem as if the firefight was going on. And the purpose is they wanted to actually show real a recoil fire in reaction from actual rounds. They actually wanted to show, okay, firing, whether it's a 10 round magazine where it's, fire those 10 rounds, and then slide actually pops back. You can actually see the real heat from the gun. All those things they wanted to be a lot more realistic. The same things with some of the so-called assault rifles. They wanted to actually have that actual recoil, watching it bounce into the shoulder, things like that, which you don't get with prop guns. Also, you're not going to have the heating. You're not going to have the heating of the barrels, the smoking, muzzle flashes look a little bit. A lot of different things. As then when you start using more high tech cameras, where it picks up the differences, and so you have people who are really like gun nuts and experts on live fire. They pick up that, and it takes away from some of the realism of the movie, in a sense. But if you're doing a low budget movie on damn near everything, why would you have any scenes where you're literally firing? It's not making sense. That's all I'm saying. You normally wouldn't even shoot directly into a camera. It just doesn't make sense. That's all I'm saying.
I put a link in there to a gentleman who's been in the acting business for quite some time and had some things to say about the protocol that should have been used during
And
this.
it just in general, I was range master qualified. One of the first things that you do before handing a weapon to anybody is you literally, it's not that hard. Like, say, for instance, let's just go with a regular handgun. You go to the slide release or clip release, drop that out, literally, check which kind of ammunition you have in there. Also, pull back so you see if you have any rounds that are chambered, and then you actually uh, release the slide, whatever, and then you can put it back in if it's not live rounds or whatever. But the fact that you're not checking that, and they can say prop gun, whatever, if you're not checking that weapon before you hand it to another person to use. Also, myself personally, any weapon I've ever been handed, I'm also going to check it myself personally. I'm not going to just grab it and fire. Now, granted, actors, they don't have the same, you know, awareness that say military people do, but
But if they
it's
have the
just
proper
weird.
training, they should. Because John Wick had proper training. Like, they had 6 months of training for every movie.
Now, I remember them discussing that when the Baldwin thing happened, they were comparing it to other films that used a lot of gunplay or a lot of gun work, and they were comparing the differences between the two. But John Wick was one of them. Yeah.
Seeing some of the, let's see. Ambassador Scorpio, what are the more important things which you think that they're trying to guide us away from? I'm curious. I mean, you know, if that's your thesis, then you have to have something that you believe that they're trying to distract us from. I don't believe that they're trying to distract us from anything because most people are not paying attention to anything as it is. So you don't really have to you don't really have to distract people who are not aware of, they're literally pissing on most of the population's head and telling them it's rain. So I don't get what they have to really distract anybody from. That's all I'm saying.
We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can discuss all kinds of topics and focus on those as a society.
Oh, I hope that's not the sign. I gotta put Sign's comment up here. That's a dark theory. I mean, but I don't rule this out when you deal with some people. Life insurance policy to be able to make a higher budget movie. But you got to deal with the lawsuits also that are going to come from that, because you better believe somebody is getting the pantsuit off of them. It might even literally end your whole Hollywood, career, having a mishap like this. So I don't know about the life insurance part, but good. Says Baldwin is a high impact personality. It's not coincidence that he comes down when Fauci is fully exposed. I don't think anybody's trying to distract from the Fauci thing. I don't buy it at all. Because they don't care about distracting us from Fauci, because most of the mainstream media and the people who gobble it all down, they are already hooked on the propaganda. So you could, anything that Fauci does, they're still gonna excuse it. Just like a topic we're gonna get into later with what do they call it, progressives, or fake progressives. It doesn't matter how much information we literally show them. We show them information after information after information, documentation, and they still find a way to kiss the ass of people like Fauci and make excuses for them. So as long as people are going to be that just blind to what's going on, I mean, I don't think they have to even do things like this to trick them. So the fact that troops are being brought back to militarized civilians because most probably tensions between states and fed government will escalate. Well, I can see that, but these people, like I said before, I just believe personally, and I'm not trying to argue, I'm just saying, I just believe that these people are there's so much of lemmings that you could literally show them pictures of them training up troops, and you could show them a video with 100,000 troops saying, yes, they're training us up to fight against possible resistance that might be coming. And these neoliberals are never going to believe it. I mean, or I don't want to speak for the whole team. What do you all think, El, Chris, and Manuel?
About what?
Think about.
Well, think
Repeat
about
the
if
question, I'm
that
sorry.
they're trying to make a distraction from larger things that are
They don't-
Now,
they
see, the
literally
first question
have
I would have
Fauci
thought is
defending.
I wouldn't have even have looked into Fauci at this. I mean, we all know the problems with Fauci and the problem and everything that's wrong with Fauci. I guess I would have probably dug deeper into like the cinematographer's background, like what she worked on while she was, what she worked on before she died, what she worked on while she was while she got hurt, stuff like that. And then, what was the budget of the film? Like, why did this film in particular need to be pushed out at such a fast rate that, something was overlooked? Just stuff like that. Because I think I think Fauci's been given like a whole bunch of awards at this point. I know of at least one from the I know at least one from the American Humanist Association where he got one. If anything, I would say that would distract. Well, I thought it would distract from like the massive job strikes. That's what I thought it would. That's what I thought when I first heard it. When I heard the film, especially the what came out around that time, the truck driver shortage, and then they were going to replace them with the National Guard people. I thought that was weird. I thought it was weird that those kind of happened around the same time, but I don't know. This work makes me question everything. So that's
I mean, yeah, and I'm not against Ambassador Scorpio because you
right.
need to be
I don't have
questioning
anything against it.
everything. You need to have that kind of mentality to question it all. Oh, sorry, did I
Exactly. I
interrupt you?
agree. No, you're good. That's it.
Oh,
No,
Elle, some of your thoughts?
Oh, I shared her IMDb page because she does have a resume of stuff that she's done, so she's not like come out of nowhere.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's get a little info on her because it sounds like, and I understand like from because I mean I mean though I do this politics and stuff, I know people from so many different walks of life. And L also has a background in dealing with Hollywood and stuff like that. So I mean, both of us understand that yes, do they rush on some of these sets? Do they get behind budget? And like I tell people all the time, like when I used to take them to the range, if you rush, that's when mistakes happen. You wanna aim for a target. Believe it or not, the best thing to do is slow down. You want to try to be slow and steady is the key. When you're herky jerky and you're fast and you're doing all this, that's when you start making mistakes. So you want to try to be fluid and smooth with what you're doing. Um, and we brought up the John Wick thing. John Wick or Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves decided on his own personally to really take on the training seriously and really go out there and work on it and train and embrace it. Every actor doesn't do that. So
Nope.
even if you give them a little bit of gun safety courses and things like that, we still got to remember some of these people are arrogant, wealthy, for lack of better words, assholes, and
Like
they're
Alec.
going. Yeah, like Alec, and they're going to go in thinking, well, I've done this a gazillion times. Don't waste my time with tell me this. Oh, whatever, just give it here. Let's just get the cut done. And you have people like that, or sometimes when you have an actor like Alec Baldwin, they might literally tell you, I got this and that going on, so you only got this much time to film with me. Get it right. And so that director who might be struggling to get, bigger names into their films might be really like put a lot of pressure on the rest of the staff. Hey, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, because Alec only gets this many takes and blah blah blah. You know what I'm talking about, Elle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it happens where they rush things and they're not. So it's always like Keanu Reeves was the generation Chuck Norris. Well, the difference with Chuck Norris, even though I always thought he was kind of corny, is Chuck Norris was literally a martial artist before he was an actor. So his martial arts brought him into acting, whereas Keanu, his acting brought him into tactical training and stunt, I guess stunt martial arts. Because trust me, you put him in a real fight, he is not a real martial artist. Now with a weapon, he still is pretty surgical in real life, so I wouldn't test him on that front. Police courses battle. Let's see, what other comment was it in there? Chris, did you have anything to say on that?
No, I didn't. I mean, you guys pretty much covered it. Yeah, I didn't have much else to say.
Hmm. Let's see, Ambassador Scorpio, and thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us and adding into the discussion. We like to engage. We like to engage with our chat and keep them in the discussion as if they're part of the panel also. So thank you. Says this will generate a boomerang effect, triggering civil appeal. All right, we'll see. I mean, I don't rule anything out, and if it does, I, I honestly. Be careful how I say this. I want to see something to shake up the elites at least a little bit. I want to see them start to get a little nervous. I want to see them actually start to sweat. So, I mean, if it does, I'll say that. Um, let's see. What did you have something else you want me to put up? Or no, that's it. Um, what was our next topic to get into? Unless you guys had anything else that you wanted to add on to the whole Alec says
I
Ambassador
wanted to add
Oh, go ahead.
that for the John Wick thing, Halle Berry joined him for the training for the last film, Chapter 3, Parabellum. And there's a video on YouTube from 511 Tactical where they show the training, and it's very intense. And she went through 6 months of training as well. So shout out to Halle Berry, I guess.
Which I trump all of them. I got more training than all of them.
Well, it's not a competition. They're doing their part. They're trying their best.
No. I mean,
And they really, made some realistic kind of gunplay that had never really been seen in a while in cinema. So,
well, yeah, they literally took live actual training, the kind of training which um me and some of my cohorts would do for hours and hours and hours of training. It's the same kind of training which you will see. There's actual competition that SWAT teams, different special forces from other countries, in competitions. Which that's some of that training goes into some of that, but it also is just training for the job which you would do out in the field. I wanted to read. Ambassador's comment says, I might be wrong. I really hope so. I am from Argentina, but lived in LA when I was 8 until 14, and I love the US, but it is not good. I agree. It is not good. And if you ever come back out here to LA, tacos on me. So hopefully you hit me up if you're ever out here again. What did I see? Kelly has a sign says the amount of years. I can't talk tonight. They are. Everything is rigged these days. Everything is rigged here, especially, and it's rigged more than here. It's rigged literally everywhere around the world. Kelly said, "Shout out to Halle Berry." Said no one ever tells her.
honestly,
Oh, it's so wrong. It's so mean. So mean. So mean. Uh,
I always give her credit for going to get her own Razzie. She went and picked up her
that
own
was
Razzie.
really cool. I was just thinking that.
I know that.
What did she get
Maybe that
arrested
she wasn't
for?
the problem.
I
What
think
did
it
she
was
get arrested for?
Catwoman.
Oh,
Catwoman.
Yeah, that wasn't her fault though.
oh
She
God,
got
I
caught.
forgot. I
Yeah.
blanked that movie out of my memory because it was just so horrible.
Yeah,
I forgot
it
about that.
was.
I honestly want to give her a Razzie for being disgusting in Monsters Ball. Ugh.
Yeah,
That
anyone having to have a scene in that
with
way with Billy Bob
Billy
Thornton.
Bob Thornton. Oh,
If that's
yeah,
how you have to get famous, I don't think I want to do it.
you're gross.
I don't think I want an Oscar that bad.
Mm-mm.
Puffy was in that. Remember Puffy? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Puppy was her husband who got killed. They
He was
got
on
the
death
flipping
row.
lecture here.
Yeah.
Says California for X is the only state allowing vax blood donation. This is fundamental for the transfusion of millions of future patients who will not be able to be attended to.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Gotta make sure we cover our bases. Allegedly. Um, but wow, speaking some very interesting comments here. Oh yeah, we know what you're talking about. We do our research on this team here. Definitely. That I did not know. You guys see this?
Should we fact check this?
I'm sure Chris probably knows about it.
I
Wow,
think you guys.
I didn't know that
Chris
though.
will probably know.
That's correct.
With Chris.
Mm.
Oh wow. Okay. Do you know why that is? Any of you? I don't know. Do he know?
Well, we can't.
I
We
thought
probably
he
can't
knew,
say.
though,
We
so I
probably
don't
can't
know.
say why.
I mean, right. You're right. You don't. We don't need that YouTube
Yeah,
information.
we probably
Misinformation
shouldn't say
love.
why, but
Right.
we all have our theories. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. That YouTube misinformation love. It's violating. Yep. We
I
don't
heard
need
of
it.
that
Right here.
months ago, but I don't know if that's changed.
And Ambassador Scorpio, are you on Twitter? If you are, please make sure to friend me. I would like to have some longer conversations with you. Definitely like to have some longer conversations with you. I work with neurologists. Oh shoot, I lost that one. That specialize in stroke. Yeah. I need to talk. I need to talk to Ambassador Scorpio. Definitely. Oh, lower the. Actually, I'll put that up. Mm, not on Twitter. Let's see.
You don't think we're gonna get any YouTube misinformation love from this, right?
No, we can
You
put.
don't.
I can put the comments up as long as we're not saying it.
Got
So
it.
our chat is free to say whatever they feel like, but as content creators, we
We are
are
not.
gagged on what we could say. Actually, Chris, my email? Actually, I probably should just go ahead and type it myself. Or hold on one second. I will. Oh, that's right. I can't type it in here. Let me see if it'll let me do it. Oh, there we go. I'll put my email in the chat for everybody, by the way. If you guys want to get a hold of me, here is my email. I know everybody has an email at least. I hope. So yes, there's my email. Please reach out to me. I'd definitely like to have some conversations with you. Thomas says, I got 2 vaccine shots and natural COVID immunity. I'm good to help with vax blood donation, 34th vaccine shots.
Well, what they do is
Yeah.
there's a deferral period, according to the Red Cross for the donation. So just to clear that up, like they want you to wait a certain amount of time after you've received the shots, and they want to make sure you're not having any side effects, and they want to make sure you're not ill from it. So once you finish, once you're clear, then they're allowing you to donate. But it's it is.
Oh
what
yeah,
it is.
and Kelly, to fix this, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna try to figure out Rumble, and what I will do is for some of our topics that get a little bit risque or too hot for YouTube. What we'll do is we will save all of that, and I'll ask for you all to save your comments and questions for Rumble. And once I get that set up, then at a certain point we'll film on here to a certain point. Then we will stop the YouTube. I gotta talk to some of my other buddies and figure out all this technical stuff. I'm not the most technical person here at all by a long shot. But once we figure that out, be able to go on to Rumble and other platforms like that where we can speak a lot more freely, and then I'll be able to really say what we think and what we feel without feeling, the pinch of getting in any kind of trouble for what we're saying. Um, mhm. I won't read that out loud, but I'm pretty sure you all can read that comment. Know what we're saying. Know what we're saying. Ambassador Scorpio is on the same page with us, So, uh, hey, I'll leave it at that. Um, oh, we need to. I guess which one did we want to go into next? Did we want to talk Netflix, Pfizer, or Fauci?
Fauci.
All right,
I'd
then go on
rather,
ahead.
I was gonna say I'd rather get the Netflix.
Get the Netflix out of the way, and then we can go on to Fauci. Because I kind of want to end with that Pfizer, and I'm gonna want you to bring up those videos that I put in the chat. That I tweeted out. I want you to bring those up because I want to show it. It's about a 7-minute clip from from Leon News, and then it's about a minute clip that I got. You know what I'm talking about for the Pfizer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's go ahead, Chris. Why don't you get everybody abreast of what we're talking about as far as the Netflix stuff.
Well, it's the same group of people crying who cry about everything. Whose feelings are easily hurt. They're back again, complaining, crying as usual. They had their little protest in, I'm assuming it was Los Angeles or somewhere in California, where
Yeah.
near Netflix.
Yeah.
Crying about how Dave Chappelle is a danger and all this other shit. I mean, to their credit though, they did get the Netflix CEO to like backtrack a little bit on his first two statements, and then even now I read earlier today that Dave Chappelle is open to a conversation with the employees of Netflix who are upset. I mean, this is some straight up bullshit. I'm just gonna say it. Like, again, there's a bunch of men who wear dresses and makeup, and they're crying about a show that they could have easily ignored. No one is coming for them. They have mental problems, and they want the rest of us to jump into their pool with them. And at the end of the day, at least myself, I know I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous if you just look at it. They're offended at the fact that women have children. It's supposed to be people have children, right? No, women give birth. People don't give birth. Yes, so is a woman a person? Yeah, all right, cool. But the way that they mean it is totally different. I was reading some articles this morning. Their language, the way they talk, they really want to confuse the shit out of children. We're grown already. We're in our 30s. Some are 40, maybe some a little older. So that shit not gonna work on us unless you're a super soft Democrat living in California or New York, right? But for the rest of us, that shit not gonna work. The part that's really frustrating is that they coming for the kids with this shit because they putting this shit in and they're weaving it into the curriculum in and out. This is not good because you're gonna have kids confused. They're gonna have kids looking at men like, oh, I don't know what to call them. They're saying something to the effect like, I mean, it's just so crazy. Transgender men can still have babies. So instead of saying that women who are gay who want to be men can still get pregnant, they're saying transgender men. I mean, just The vernacular around this shit is just mind-boggling. And we've been silent for too long, and we've sat and watched people get attacked for too long. And now we're at this point where even me saying all this shit will probably get the show pulled down. You know,
Well, I don't think it will, because the main thing that they're most ticked off about is anything that we say. There's two. Typically, there's two groups of people who are who are the protected class, and you can't say anything about these two groups of people. One is the alphabet group, and the other one is the people who own this platform. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. They also the person, the group, the people who own this platform, they belong to a protected group, and
a lot of them, there's a lot of what's the word? I can't think of it, but they intersect. The group that's whining and the group you can't talk about or criticize in any kind of way because they always want to bring up World War II. So I think that gives people a little bit, more of a clue as to what we're talking about.
Chris, do you mean a Venn diagram? Maybe?
Correct. Thank you.
Right, the two inner. Right. Okay.
Correct. There's a lot of
connected.
It's all connected, and it's madness. These are the same people want to put the drag queens in the school to read to the little kids while they're dressed inappropriate. This is the same group that always wants to talk about their sexual preference and what they like to do in the bedroom, as opposed to, oh wait, hold on, let me read what Kelly's saying. Can we all agree that if you were assigned male at birth, you will not? That's what I'm saying. What she said would be problematic to them. That is a problem. Dave Chappelle said we all pass through the legs of a woman to get here. They didn't like that. He said it's a fact. That gender is a fact. They don't like that. They want all of us to conform to this intersex, non-binary, transmutative Ninja Turtle shit. Nah, player, you got me fucked up. We're not doing that.
it's just like, and where this is getting even more confusing is when some of the people who are some of the lead high profile people in specifically the trans community. I'm not even talking about the L and the G and the B part. We're just talking about the T. A lot of these people are psychiatrists. I don't understand that because you are putting out nothing but confusion, and yet you're telling people you understand. You're going to be the person to tell people what makes sense when you're one of the most confused people. Like now words don't mean what they're supposed to. Like I always thought they means multiple people. Now they can be one. They is one person.
It's not though, unless there are grammatical instances of that, but the way that they do it now, they do it. It's
correct.
Not accurate.
Correct.
I want to say more. Okay.
Correct. They're twisting it, and you know what? At the end of the day, what we need to discuss is what trauma they went through that got them like this. Because the vast majority of them went through some kind of trauma when they were very young, and unfortunately, a lot of it was sex abuse, right? So we need to figure out what's going on there that has them like this. There's plenty of evidence, and there's people who've come out, shared their story that said like, I am like this. I'm a girl. I dress like a boy, and I feel like a boy because of something that happened to me early in life. So if we're not addressing that, then I don't want to hear nothing about it because you guys are just damaged, and say I'm offended by it. Correct.
I don't like it either. You're a woman. We're women.
Kelly, you must have been listening on my phone call earlier because I was just saying I'm a man. You're a woman.
Cisgendered wasn't even a thing until recently.
When did I become a cisgendered man?
You're not. Nobody
Sorry
is.
for cursing. And L, correct. L is a woman. Marcus a man. Emmanuel's a man. You are what you are. Look, I was born with a third leg. Boom, Kelly, there you go, right?
And I was not.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't. I'm like, you guys can make up whatever terms you want to call yourself, but don't make up terms to call me. Don't start trying to change me, and I have to play your game that you want to play. If
Yeah.
you have your community, you have your group. It's just like when we were growing up. We had our slangs in the neighborhood, and that was the way we talked with each other. We didn't tell everybody that now you got to start talking the way I talk. That's how you guys are. It's a free country.
Could I
You can
just say,
say whatever you want to say and call yourself what you want to, but don't make me have to bow into your terms.
could I say something about
Yeah,
this
go
situation?
ahead.
Going back to the protest or whatever they want to call that thing, the walkout, the person who organized it, Ashley, what's her face, was accused of racism, one, and homophobia during a meth binge that she had in 2011 and apparently in 2018 again when she said some more fucked up shit on Twitter. So I think it's hilarious that the person who organized this whole thing is so offended by these jokes that Dave said and the reality of what he was, presenting to the audience, that she would be so upset when she called Asian people all kinds of stuff and gay people the F word, the fucking F word. But meth makes you racist and homophobic. So it's okay.
I was tripping balls, Holmes.
But it was not okay for Roseanne when she was on Ambien and she said some shit about somebody looking like a monkey. That was different, which was actually a reference to a character in Planet of the Apes, regarding an official, a state official or U.S. official. So that was not okay. That was not an Ambien binge, and we should not forgive her. But we should forgive the meth binge from 2011 and more recently 2018 on Twitter.
And I don't know if you guys saw the little protest they had, right? So one guy walked up there.
Do you have that, Chris? Because actually,
That
I
was
would like for
insane.
you to just bring it up and show it so we could talk about that. Because I was looking at him like, what? Hold on, what the hell?
I'm
Oh,
gonna look
can,
for it,
can
but
somebody interpret for me? Uma, what she's saying?
they at the protest, one person showed up with a sign that said, "I like Dave Chappelle." Yo, the mob turned around, took this guy's sign, threw it on the floor. Now he's still
Dave is
holding
funny.
like the signage, the staff that the sign was on, right? The pole that the sign was on. They started screaming, "Oh, he's got a weapon! He's got a weapon! He's got a weapon!" So he drops it and says, "Look, I'm not holding anything." Then they proceed to jump in his face and invade his personal space. Now, if that was somebody,
Literally, Chris, the one who ripped the sign off was the one who started screaming. He had the weapon instantly. Instantly. What I would have done, honestly, is I would have picked up my sign and kept trying to put it on and said, assault, assault, assault. That's what I would have been yelling. Because you do not have the right to snatch anything from anybody. You can say what you want to. You can say you don't agree with them. You could call them transphobic. You can call them all this other stuff. But when you start grabbing somebody's sign out of their hands and yanking stuff away from them, you are being violent at this point. So how I looked at it is the people in the LG, the trans community, they were actively being violent.
Yep. Just like Antifa. It was like Antifa tactics all over again. And then trying to drown the person out because you didn't want to hear what they had to say.
correct. Now this ties into all these fake leftists and wannabe cosplaying socialists and revolutionaries on Twitter. There's some of them who put the name radical in their names, but they're anything but radical. They're fucking compliant, like Brooklyn Dad,
Yep.
right? It's the same thing.
Paid
with
and
them,
compliant,
right?
you mean, Chris, right? He gets paid big
What'd you say, E?
to do his little. I said he gets paid to be that way. He gets paid big.
Correct.
Right?
He get a
Brooklyn
check to
Dad.
be compliant. But there's again, E for bringing it. Thank you for bringing up the Venn diagram earlier. There's a in the middle is that same group too. These same people will stand up for a man who wants to call himself a woman. They'll stand up for that and go hard. You show them other information based on science, they reject it. But then they'll tell you, listen to the science and take a shot and wear a mask and all this other shit. But you'll reject nature by calling a woman a man and a man. You know what I'm saying? It just, those people just, there's a lot of people who cannot be saved, and we should not be trying to save everybody in the world. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
that goes back to add in. That goes back to what Dave
Sorry,
Chappelle
Kelly,
was
I'm
saying.
worked up. They have me pissed
I,
off,
I,
Kelly. I'm
I know
sorry.
you worked up. That goes back to what Dave Chappelle said. Dave Chappelle said, if you pay attention to my comedy over the years, I don't have a problem with trans people. He said, I have a problem with white people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said.
And
And
white
that
people
part
are
is getting
defending
skipped
it.
out.
Correct me,
That
son.
part is getting skipped out. And what you realize is the same people who are being the aggressive people in this and the lynch mob part of this and the ones who are the biggest, starting most of the stuff tend to happen to just be, of the Caucasian persuasion. Now, I just want to, put this out there because like for instance, last week we what was it Liz? I can't remember her name. Yeah,
Please.
Lease, sorry. Lease Live. And the point I was trying to make is let it have been let it be 50 black trans people. Nobody is covering it. Nobody's gonna care. 50 black trans people, you walk out of your job and see what happens to you. See if you keep that job. What we gotta notice is this is still, in my opinion, boiling back to white privilege.
But it's a black organizer of the protest, so I don't know if that actually.
But if they did not have any white people out there with them, that shit would get shut the hell down.
I don't know. They
That-
had their little sign that
Oh,
said
I-
black
I-
people
I-
have
the
to
devil, Marcus.
There's
You spoke
always
of the devil.
there's always something. I mean, aren't white people the ones who started the gender reveal party, gender
I
reveal
did not know.
stuff from that they were talking about earlier? Yeah, didn't they start that where they were like where they started like the ink where it's clearly a boy, it's clearly a girl. It's always something.
I mean,
Oh yeah, and by the way, Lease Live has a channel. Please go and check out Lisa's channel and give her a subscribe. Also, go show her some love.
you know, now you're not born a man, you're not born a boy, you're not born a girl, you're assigned at birth. I mean, they are literally trying to change the way we talk about everything. And again, these are matters that to most people are unimportant, right? You can't find them on anything important. They only really care about their own sexuality. They don't give about anything else.
It's
Any
narcissism
other-
on a mass scale.
Yeah, on any other issue, you can't find them. You look for them. Where the trannies at when they shooting black folks?
Be
Where they
careful with the,
where they at? Schools and stuff. Where they at? They donating any of their money? They not having any kids. So I mean, what's up? Yo, let me tell you. Me and Variant were talking earlier this morning. We were going through a couple of these articles that, they're saying that I'm privileged, that you are privileged, that a straight woman is privileged. Either black, white, I mean, it don't matter race, but they're saying I'm privileged. Where the fuck am I privileged at? Tell me where, besides maybe a club or a bar or some shit where people are drunk, right? But other than that, tell me where I'm privileged. None of us are. But again, most of them are, again, as you said, they're Caucasian and they're male. So if we're talking about privilege, I mean, they're usually the ones who have it in this country as it's currently designed and set up. So the irony just flies right over their head.
Yeah, it ticks me off that what they like to do is They go and find people from whichever community it might be, whether it's the Black Lives, whether it's Black trans people, whether it's women, whoever it is. They go and find people to hide behind and use as shields to, oh, we're supporting you. But really, it's only about how it affects them individually. That's how it, because remember all these people they talked about Black Lives Matter, all this and that. Are any of these people who were putting out all this Black Lives Matter stuff? Are any of them trying to work to get Black people better pay? Are they trying to work to end some of this redlining and some of this discrimination? Or a lot they're not trying. It's just like when Pelosi and all them decided to put on the kente cloth and go out there and kneel. This is what I'm seeing. But when it comes to well, this affects me. Now you can't. And I'll jump off my soapbox there.
I'm just saying, it just like I said, you'll have people like that radical person who, he would if he decided to show up today and defend his position, he would take the total opposite side from what we're saying, right? He would say that we're not compassionate enough, and we're not following the science. But then we could provide him information from scientists regarding the Rona. I don't want to get too much into that, but we can provide him science about the Rona, talking about either the shot or the virus itself, and then how a lot of this is questionable, and there's a lot of things you should really be, shaking your head at. He would go against that.
Well, and my biggest thing that I wanted to push back on, like some of the stuff that this person was saying, and you know what? I don't care. I'll throw his name right on out there and his channel. Well, I don't want to throw his channel out there because I don't want to give him any credence. I don't want y'all to go and even go check his channel out. And because I noticed he started his channel roughly after the time when he left from this channel. Now, don't think that this beef that we have with Chris Richards is because, and that's what we're talking about, Chris Richards, who calls himself the eclectic radical. What a fucking joke. This beef started just because of what we're seeing on differences and how he argues back and how he loves to throw out misnomers and names like you guys are using QAnon talking points and nonsense like that. And I'm like, you know me. You have known me for a while. You have known that I was one of the biggest Bernie Sanders, pushers before I realized that he was nothing but a fucking sheep herder. And now you're going to try to put me as a QAnon, Proud Boy, all of this nonsense.
Here's the audacity.
I never knew what the hell QAnon was even talking about most of the damn time. So how the hell am I quoting QAnon?
So again, this white guy in the Northwest had the audacity to call Marcus a Proud Boy because he didn't agree with him on everything about the current agenda and everything that's going on. Had the nerve to call this dude a Proud Boy. I mean, just the audacity. And just to give people an example of the level of ignorance we're dealing with, right? He said he asked for an example of like what kind of information that he rejects, right? So I gave him Dr. Carrie Mullis's name, and I said to him, what did he say about his own invention? He came back to say, oh, that doctor's a quack. He denies that HIV causes AIDS, and he doesn't believe in climate change. So we're not dealing with that right now. But stick to the topic. What did he say about his invention, the PCR test? What did Mullis say about it? He repeated himself to go on to say that, oh, he denies climate change, and then he blocks people like a right. So again,
and to add on to that, I was
following in L's footsteps, trying to get blocked by him.
Well, and the thing about it is, Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, in my opinion, the greatest that I've seen. How good is Michael Jordan at baseball?
Correct.
You can be, just because a person is an expert in one field and they might be off in some other things, you cannot discredit them on what they are good at and what they are, because on some other areas you have some disagreements. There's some stuff which I have a lot of knowledge on, and there's some stuff I have very little knowledge on, and I'll look very, very silly if I start trying to talking or wade into other waters where I don't know what I'm talking about. And it's the same thing there. You cannot tell me that this person who created this technology does not know what the hell is going on, just because on some other issues they might be wrong about some certain things. That's idiotic logic, Chris. And I hope somebody clips this and sends it to you. That's idiotic logic. You need to stop going into, well, I heard this one person say this one thing, so automatically that pushes you all into one category. That's not how these things work. That's how lynch mobs think. Guilt by association. Now, if that's who you are, then go on ahead and say it. But to not have enough, understanding to know that, okay, a person can be right on this and be wrong on that. Hell, Tucker dumbass Carlson can be right on one thing here and there. That doesn't mean he's right on everything. Just like none of us are right on everything, none of us are wrong on everything. And if you get to the point where you start thinking, well, this person is bad because of X, Y, or Z, so throw everything they say out. That's that old phrase. You never throw the baby out with the bathwater. How we look at things, and I believe I can speak for the whole team here, is we literally take every bit of information and weed through it and pick through it, and what's good, we put it aside, take this information and put it over here, and what's bad, we throw away. We don't throw away whole people. We don't throw away all the knowledge and all the science because we find one thing the person said wrong. That's what a liar does. That's what a dishonest person does. And how Chris has been dishonest in his argumentation is he has looked for the one thing he can find that's incorrect so that he can discredit that person and throw them away. Exactly. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just saying that's exactly what he does. It's really ridiculous. And as Varian just said, perfect example. I'll read a comment. Chris Richards' thinking is politically handicapped. He only sees the left-right paradigm, and even if the topic or response to a topic doesn't align, he short circuits and regurgitates talking points.
Mm-hmm.
Bang, 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 bang. Remember, who was the guy in wrestling who used to go bang, bang? Cactus Jack, was that his name?
Yeah.
That was my man.
Oh, I thought you were going to say John Witherspoon for a minute. See,
Oh, him too, John Witherspoon. But his bang, bang different. Bang, 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 bang. His is different. But yeah, sorry guys. Misha, that's what I was gonna say. Thank you for reminding me. Like Marcus Rage, the Proud Boy.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, literally, do they know on my other channel I got a video where I'm going off on a racist? Yeah. I mean, going hard in the paint on them. So I look at it like this. I vet everybody. I bet all my friends, and it don't matter what stripe you are, because and I'll say it from my I look at everything from a biblical lens, and you have what's called the wheat and the tares. What that means is some people are going to look like this, but may not be this. Some people may look like that, but they may not be that. So you got to try each individual person on each individual thing, and you got to give it time to understand this person. You can't just sit there and automatically assume, because that's when you're wrong. Like something I just learned recently. I just learned it. Let me see. Let me get down there. Chris Richardson and I parted ways when he was offended when I said Kamala has slept their way to the top. Well,
It's
hey,
what happened. Who did
hey,
you sleep with, and
all
what
a
happened
spade a
after you
spade.
slept with
Does
her?
the cheetah have spots?
Mhm.
Correct,
Well,
Al.
and what is it? Black in the Empire on Twitter. He said something earlier today. I retweeted his out. He said, "In the United States, we haven't had a black president or black vice president." And some people got, in their feelings about it when he said that. Well, here's this: Obama's father is a Kenyan.
Kenyan.
That's not the same as a descendant of slavery, African American. That's not the same people, not the same culture, not the same upbringing. Different. His mother is a descendant of slave masters. So this dude got two slave master background. That's obviously a different mindset. And then Kamala with it. Oh, the first black vice president. Kamala is not black. Kamala is not black. Let's get that across. Kamala
And
is
not
not black.
a black American. Correct.
Kamala, well, not black. Period. Kamala's mother is Indian. Her father is just because see people hear Jamaican and they think Jamaican means black, or you see somebody melanated from Jamaica, that means you're black.
No.
Kamala's father is Irish and Indian. Irish and Indian. At
Kamala.
best,
Marion, behave.
at best he has like 10% of black Jamaican in him at best. So how much would that put in Kamala? Virtually none. That's the same as Elizabeth Warren running around here talking about she's Native American.
Dear me. Could I go back to Proud Boys? I just wanted to state something that Proud
Sure,
Boys would
go
say
ahead.
about themselves, that they are not racist. They had like a leader who was Latino, and they never had any racist statements. That was kind of pictured that way in the media because of how based they were, against certain issues. But they're mainly just a bunch of dudes who just want to be dudes.
And
And you
hold
do
on,
have different Proud Boy groups. Some
The
don't
main
consider
one,
themselves
yeah.
racist. Some are. So
and let's
Well,
that's
not
some
where it
have
gets conflated.
tendencies because they're individuals and they're individuals within a group that get, and
Exactly.
could be feds for all anyone knows. We'll see, But there are people who can be radicalized on both sides.
And also, too, let's not forget that the Proud Boys are largely controlled opposition, right? Because,
Correct.
if you look at everything surrounding the supposed insurrection, right? If you look at who.
Oh yeah, we need to talk about that at some point. That supposed insurrection part
Oh,
where
yeah,
they wrenched
9/11.
up that new footage where they casually strolled in like they were going on a tour of the Capitol building, but it somehow vindicated the police or vindicated the Capitol Police letting them in. I'm like, that doesn't make them look better. That actually makes them look kind of worse. It looked like it looked like somebody passed them out tickets and they were gonna take pictures in Pelosi's office. I mean, they just rolled on in. They didn't seem like they were in any real hurry.
Remember the head of the Proud Boys, a Spanish guy from down here in Florida. Remember, he's an informant for the FBI. So that's why I'm saying this is like controlled opposition shit. You notice he didn't end up going to DC for that riot, right? I wonder why. You're the leader of this group. You trying to build up your profile and all this other shit, and you didn't go. I mean, come on, man. This shit is all
that
just a show. It's all
that
just a
left
show.
right narrative is just
yeah.
it's hard.
And I wanted to put this out there real quick. I told Chris I was going to talk about him and I was going to throw his name out there. And I gave him an opportunity to come on here. I sent him I sent him a DM, what was it? Probably about 6 something this morning. So he's literally had all day long to be able to get back to me. So this ain't dishing at somebody behind their back. I let him know that I was going to talk about him on here. So just wanted to put that out there.
Those guys,
You can't break that narrative out of some people, man. It's just it's ingrained. It bars any question. It bars any deviation. Yeah, that Timberland thing she pull. They're trying so hard. They're trying
Oh,
so
did you
hard.
see the NASA
It
thing?
makes my head hurt. Yeah,
Oh,
they did. I
The
was
children,
like, oh
those
god.
poor children.
The
They thought they
child
were gonna
act-
be pilot.
My head, it
the
hurts.
child
My head
child
hurts.
actors
The
that
child
they did the
actors,
show
yeah.
with, Mel?
They thought it was gonna go
Yeah.
somewhere. Those poor children. They told them it was gonna be a pilot. So sad.
I'm telling you.
My
But
head hurt looking at that.
we can go on to this. We can take this and move on to. I saw where Marcus told Chris. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he told you invited him.
He did. He did. I saw that too. He legitimately did. He legitimately extended out good faith. You know, you can come
Yep.
on here. You can talk. You can talk about it. So
Ambassador Scorpio says, "Gotta go. I subbed and will try to stay updated. Thank you for the stream. Be safe. Godspeed.
Love
Godspeed.
and
You
hugs.
also.
you as
Thank
well,
you, brother.
man. You as
And
well.
make sure to email me. I really want to keep in touch with you.
Yeah, no lies detected. No lies detected. Yeah, so we can take that and move on to the hold on,
What's
look,
the Fauci?
before we get to Fauci, right? I don't even want to say the hard
Falsy.
R because we'll stick
Falsy?
to like Fauci tube or something like that, right?
I
So
call it Falsy. Falsy is what I like.
that's fine. He really should be canceled now because the way I saw Americans go after Mike Vick for dog fighting, what they was doing to dogs, that should really get him canceled now. Like they should really be at the NIH, the White House. They should be following Fauci. Where's Peter and the rest of them? They really, really need to be going
Okay.
at. They really need to be going at Fauci after this news. El, do you have any links for that? Oh, actually, no, I have some. Where'd I put them? Where did
I got
put
you
them?
anyway.
I know, right? Oh, Variant, you texted to me. You should send it to me on Twitter.
I got it there. I think
Oh,
it's
you
the
do?
same
Okay.
thing. It's what Joe Rogan shared. That's when I first saw it, when he was sharing it.
You put that in the group, El?
Correct.
Okay.
So what's interesting about that is that, like, the people who love Fauci or whatever are saying, "Oh, it's not Fauci, it's NIH." Well, he's in charge of NIH. It's
Correct.
NIAID or whatever, the other thing that he's in charge of. Yeah, okay. He has no responsibility for that. But it's a bipartisan letter that they're sending about this, the legislators. And I counted everything, and they said that it was mostly Republicans, which it is, but it's only 14-9. It's 14 Republicans in the House and 9 Democrats, including the dude from my state, Ted Lieu, amazingly. So Ted Lieu is involved in this. And he hates everything Trump. He's as blue dog as it gets.
Oh, and since we're on this topic too, just want to be real careful and ask, I don't really, how can I say it? You see that they're about to change the definition of fully vaccinated, or they're considering
Yes,
it?
boosters.
Correct.
That's what I predicted on Twitter.
Correct. So here we are now. The definition will change that if you don't have your booster, is this a trigger warning? Yeah, Space Pioneer, I don't know, but whatever. Welcome to the show. Anyway, so the definition is about to change, and those of you who have received 2 shots, who are now at this current moment who are fully vaccinated, just know that the CDC under Rochelle Walensky, they are considering changing that definition. So this.
Do you have a video of that? Of her saying
No,
that?
I'm gonna pull up the link I'm gonna pull up the link in a second. But so that means going forward for the next, for this upcoming winter season, we're in fall now for the winter. If they change this, if you're correct, so if they change this definition, it stands that there's going to be a bunch of people who get sick. Some will die who are, as right now, fully vaccinated. They just want to have a 3rd shot. The definition will change, and then it will still, the media narrative won't change. It will still be the pandemic of the, or what did they call it? The pandemic of the unvaccinated or something like that?
There will
Mhm.
still be a second-class citizen, and you'll be one of them then if you don't get your shot. And then if you don't get the next shot, you'll be one of them again.
Correct.
So just keep continuing. The goalposts will be moved.
Never ending.
Another variant, another boost, another.
Yes, 20 more variants of the
Yeah.
Delta. Amazing.
Marcus, I just put something up too from the Sun.
More boosters, more problems.
Not the sun.
So
I hate
Marcus, be careful. You know
Yep. Sorry. Yeah.
what I'm saying? Everybody, y'all making me nervous.
So for the
because
dog love,
even though you guys are saying accurate information, they will take this as a way to fucking go against us. That's what I'm saying. Just be careful.
correct.
The Hill was better, I think, but the sun is kind of trash. But okay.
Yeah, it don't matter. It's the same. They said the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but look, puppy experiments and beagles. Dismiss. Hungry sandflies that would eat them alive. Now, if you read through the article, you know, obviously a lot of this was done as some part of like a medical experiment. But you read down through the article, yo, they were performing the surgery on the dogs to prevent them from barking or crying or making any
Fucked
sound.
up.
One. Two, they were like putting their heads outside something so the parasites and the sandflies could tear their face off. Like,
Just to see what happens.
it's just ridiculous.
When did this
Like,
happen? I mean, did anybody read the whole article? When did this happen?
Tunisia.
Yeah.
So this was happening in Tunisia in Africa.
Yeah. It was a while ago,
Mm-hmm.
but it just came out like that. All of the people are signing this letter and are really upset about it. It's
Mr. Street, you can't. Sorry.
$375,800 grant to the lab in Tunisia was
Correct.
from the NIH division.
Yo, y'all gotta read this comment right here. Woo.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
what people are saying. That's the
Yeah, I like that. My thinking also.
Look, Spice. Look. Oh shit! Damn. She. He. She. I
Going
don't know.
hard in the paint. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, they also do this to mice, and people don't really care that much. But this is torture. This is not just killing people. I mean, killing. Well, they're but killing
Look,
animals. You know,
read
it's
the highlighted
torturing
part.
them first.
Read the highlighted part real quick, Marcus.
Oh, which part? You talking about in the article?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, shit! You gotta remember, I'm on my phone. It's
Oh yeah.
tiny.
Yeah.
I can read it.
Go ahead, Al.
They also locked beagles alone in cages in the desert overnight for 9 consecutive nights to use them as bait to attract infectious sandflies. They added. The NIAID directed $1.68 million in taxpayer money on these experiments, according to documents obtained by the nonprofit. That's not in my article, but okay.
Mm-hmm. But it's just, as you can see, I'm going to close this screen now. But as we can see, you know, they have no regard, man. You know,
Let's get a video of Fauci talking about dogs. Like, that would be fun to see, like a little compilation of him talking about dogs.
They propped him. So are we saying that they propped Fauci up and now the same media is conspiring to tear him down?
They did that before. This is nothing new for them. But he's
Right.
Teflon because he has all the backing.
Mhm. Speaking of the backing,
Creating the thing to do it.
Speaking of the backing, cue up that that one video, Chris. You know which one I'm talking about.
Which one, Marcus? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, cue that one up. Speaking of the backing, you know. So go ahead, El. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I was just thinking. I'm looking at this and it's like, I don't like this guy. I used to watch him. I'll disclaimer. I used to watch him. But this is something, I'm going to borrow something that Bill Maher used to say. He was like, I don't know it's true, but I know it's true. Fauci seems like the guy that was torturing animals as a kid. I don't know it's true, but I know it's true. That's what I'm saying.
I think
Because
scientists are fucking insane, honestly, and they will kill anything to get, that's what the NIH does. And throughout their history, they killed, not on purpose, I guess, whatever, children, babies, as we went over before, which YouTube wouldn't let me talk about. But, they did have experiments on children, Black and Latino children. And that's what they do. They fucking kill people. They kill animals. They don't care. As long as they get a good result from it. You know who I want to mention real quick is fucking Kinsey. Alfred Kinsey. That motherfucker. He's so disgusting. He not only practiced his sexual methodology, trying to find out the humans, the sex of the male, like how men react to sexual situations. He did that with children, and nobody cares now. Like, nobody did anything about it. He didn't go to jail, and he was a criminal gathering information from pedophiles in his experiments. And they loved him. I'll shut up now. YouTube's fucking amazing.
whose music is going?
Oh, can you hear that music in the background?
Oh, I could. Yeah, I thought I was going crazy for a second.
No,
That you heard it and you going a little.
Yeah, it's the bar outside. They jamming out there.
Okay.
We haven't heard the party times in a while, so it's about time your bar downstairs that they made an appearance.
Yeah, I haven't moved yet, so it's still going downstairs. They been playing some good music. If you ever see me quiet and it's muted, and you start seeing me, they jamming something outside.
That's funny.
Probably why I always shake my head. Oh, Marcus, where did you send me that video to? Because I was looking in the messages. I can't remember.
It should be in my it should be in the group chat.
Okay.
Yeah. Was it Young Morpheus? Yeah.
Because I remember it's like Marsha.
Yes, it literally is like that. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, I don't want to. I just want to show it. I don't even want to talk about it. I just want to show it.
Oh, there we go. Got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
By Pfizer, making a difference.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about to share the screen in a second, Marcus.
Okay. I'm ready for you.
Yeah, I found it. It'd just be so much things. It'd be a lot of links, a lot of information everywhere. It's like you just, your memory got to try to. Here we go.
And then I want to follow it up with the that other one from the We On News.
Okay, all right, got it. So I'm about to hit play now. On mute.
Pfizer. ABC News Night Live. Brought to you by Pfizer, making a difference. Brought to you by Pfizer.
CNN Tonight. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early Start. Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night on Aaron Burnett Out Front. Brought to you by Pfizer. This Week with George Stephanopoulos is brought to you by Pfizer.
This weather report brought to you by Pfizer.
Today's countdown to the royal wedding is brought to you by Pfizer.
And now a CBS Sports Update brought to you by Pfizer.
Meet the Press. Data download. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This portion of CBS This Morning is
Sponsored by Pfizer.
On how to find the hidden sugars in the American family diet. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You by Pfizer. ABC News Night Live.
That was it.
By Pfizer.
So.
Yeah, and out here, literally on our sports talk radio, and I hear the same thing. I mean, I'm hearing it on the radio. It's on the TV. It's everywhere you look. Kelly has a question for you all.
Favorite Halloween movie? I don't know, maybe Scary Movie.
Everybody's watching that one right now.
I say Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Love it.
I used to watch those a lot when I was a kid. Believe it or not, I'm not a big horror person, so
I did like
what
what was the Jason one? Jason X, where he went into space and they got fucked up. And then,
Lord.
I don't know that
That's
one.
right. Yep.
And then he put the two girls in the sleeping bag and he was beating them against the tree.
Now I consider that a comedy, actually.
Me too.
Well then we talking about comedies. What about Leprechauns?
Oh, that's funny. Those
Jennifer
are some
Aniston
funny
is
ass
in that.
movies, kid. Least correct. They don't see the conflict of interest, and when you try to tell people follow the money, there's a reason why the people that you hear on television say certain things. There's a reason why the guests that they bring on say certain things. They don't get it. They're just like, well, they really believe it. They're telling you they need to go to war, but they didn't tell you that, they sit on the board of DynCorp, right? They're part of Northrop Grumman. They're part of Halliburton. They don't tell you that part. So it's the same thing with just the pharmaceutical companies and this whole nonsense we're living through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And what is Uma saying, by the way? I know one of y'all are out there translating. Trying to remember who was it? Oh, it's Wesley, I think. Who he always knows what's going on with her. Yeah, where's our buddy Wesley at tonight?
I was going to say a horror movie that I enjoyed.
Which one?
What's that?
Despite how it was made, because it was very, very crazy and could not be made today the same way. And that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The original, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974. I just like the ending. I mean, I like the dinner scene, even though that's the worst part for the actors. It's hard to watch. But in terms of like abuse on set, it's probably not as up there as other movies, like The Twilight Zone, for example, in which somebody lost their head.
Uma's comment was paying attention to the kind of people is like paying attention to a phony news story. It's no use to us. In addition to being a toxic mental state, it doesn't solve anything. So maybe she's talking about Fauci. I'm not too sure. Or,
Read that one out loud.
I know animals are used in
man.
experiments, and I don't think it's right, but I understand why. However, they could have just put some kind of other thing out there, fermented garbage or just blood in a bowl.
Did you guys get my link in the chat, the private? Something from the CIA.
Actually, I want Emmanuel to read this one.
Never mind. I'll go.
Cletus, if I catch you with lipstick on your collar again, you won't be able to sleep in the barn again. Randine Simpson's when the Spucklers make their animal for medical trials.
Even the makeup industry is done with animal testing. Cosmetics.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Got it up there for me yet? See what y'all about to cooking, because I want everybody to. I always tell everybody about that news network, which it's just one of my sources, which I look at outside of independent media or outside of just American news in general.
Marcus, I'll put the screen up when you get a chance, man.
Okay, so that one I'll definitely wanted to show everybody. What is this?
Insane.
Go ahead, Al, this you.
Yeah, this is you. I don't know what's going on.
I know. Operation Acoustic Kitty. I learned about that like a year ago, but it happened in the 1960s during the Cold War. The CIA performed this experiment to alter these animals, these cats, so that they could spy on Russians. And it went horribly wrong. And they gave them surgery to fuck them up forever. And then I think they ended up killing a lot of them. But it says they slit the cat open, put batteries in him, wired him up. The tail was used as an antenna. They made a monstrosity. They tested him and tested him. They found he would walk off the job when he got hungry. So they put another wire in to override that. Finally, they're ready. They took it out to a park bench and said, listen to those two guys. Don't listen to anything else. Not the birds, no cat or dog, just those two guys. And this was former CIA officer Victor Marchetti recounting the story of the acoustic kitty. In 1961 is when they began it. They ended it in 1967 after it was a total failure. And then they have like a picture of the surgery that happened. Like they had a microphone inside their ear canal, an antenna wire along the spine, and a transmitter and power supply in a fucking cat. And it didn't work. And they I bet a lot of them died.
Yeah,
I think I read a lot of them died.
Yeah, the CIA though, they're always trying sick and demented crap like that though. I mean, look no further than what is it? MK Ultra. They're always doing. They're always trying to do some weird, crazy crap. And this is just what we're hearing about. I mean, I guarantee you, the CIA. This gets into a whole nother category of evil, sick motherfuckers.
Yep. This was just a Tuesday for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is
Tuesdays.
benign. This is benign for what they normally do.
6 years of Tuesdays.
Yes, correct.
It's
This
disgusting.
is benign for these people. If you told them, I honestly believe, if you told them, hey, if you guys slaughtered 100 people, by torturing them slowly, you guys will have a cloak of invisibility. They'll do it in a heartbeat just to see. They'll take that chance, no matter if it sounds nonsense or not. They would literally take that chance because I think these people are complete and utter sociopaths and psychos. I don't think it gets any more psychotic than these people or evil. Better term. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah. Go ahead and bring up that clip, Chris from Weon. I want to remind this. The one from it should be on that same link. Where the Pfizer was.
Okay, let me get to it. Go ahead, keep talking. Go ahead.
And I guess I'll try to set it up. This is that network which I'm always talking about, which I always say, hey, everybody go and check this out because this is somebody who's not a Republican, not a Democrat, has nothing to gain from either one of these two parties. This is an Indian news station, which is English language. And so they're calling out both sides. They're calling out different governments, and they're covering a lot of things which we will not hear at all in our government. And so just some of the stuff which I heard in her newscast was just so disturbing to me. I was like, I could cover it and talk about it, or I could bring up the clip and let people hear her reporting, on her own. And I think it's more impactful hearing what she says because, for one, she does a good job, reporting, and it's mind-boggling. And I figure, hey, in fact, on top of that, I'll let her be able to say it. And so if you guys want to go after, I mean, it's on YouTube. So if YouTube has a problem with another YouTube, then that shows how crazy that we're getting that. You get it. Well, I think Franco got in trouble for it. But no, that was covering something that came off the Spotify version, not the part which he uploads onto YouTube. Having trouble finding it?
No, I got it up. You could put it up. Just carrying drinks on, just like, oh, sorry, I was just reading the comments.
Oh, I guess we're gonna want me to pull up that comment first.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Kelly. Kelly, this is a family show. Kelly, this is a family show with children watching. I mean,
boy, oh
you
boy.
know, I'm being sarcastic as the one who's always talking about, a leg, so, I'm being sarcastic as hell.
Wow.
Marcus, I'm about to play. I'm going to play the video, Marcus.
Okay.
Do we answer a question before or after the video?
All right. Yeah, let's get serious. Right, here we go.
Wuhan virus vaccines are supposed to be a global public good. But what happens when a vaccine manufacturer starts bullying? Governments are silenced, supplies are halted, and profits take precedence over saving lives. I'm not describing a hypothetical situation here. I am describing what Pfizer is doing. The American pharma giant, it is doing all of this. It is bullying countries to submit to its demands. We first reported about this back in February this year. While countries like India are sending free vaccines to poorer nations, there are companies like Pfizer which are bullying governments. Pfizer asked to be compensated for the cost of any future lawsuits. Pfizer wanted Argentina to put, and listen to this, put its bank reserves, its military bases, and its embassy buildings at stake as collateral. These are Pfizer's demands. Look at this. Number one, Brazil waives the sovereignty of its assets abroad in favor of Pfizer. That the rules of the land be not applied on Pfizer. Number three, that Brazil take into consideration a delay in delivery. Number four, that Pfizer is not penalized for it, for a delay in delivery. And number five, in case of any side effects, Pfizer be exempted from all civil liability. 8 months have passed since we reported this. Pfizer has not changed. It is still putting profits above public health. It is still forcing governments to bend to its will. An advocacy group has thrown up more details of what Pfizer does. It has accessed some confidential contracts with Pfizer. And we have a copy. These contracts are with 9 countries and blocks, and the details are shocking. Desperate countries are being forced to make humiliating concessions to Pfizer. We went through the entire report. We found 6 very important points worth highlighting. Number one, Pfizer has the right to silence governments. It has forced countries to not talk about the deals they strike for shots. Number two, Pfizer controls the donations of its shots, not the country that buys them. Pfizer will decide where the shots go. Number three, Pfizer has secured an intellectual property waiver for itself, and this clause is particularly disturbing. If Pfizer is accused of intellectual property theft, governments will pay, not the company. Number four, if there are disputes, private arbitrators and not public courts will decide on them. Number five, Pfizer can go after state assets to secure its compensation. And number six, Pfizer calls the shots on all key decisions. It decides delivery timelines and more. These are very serious revelations. I'll give you some more details. Number one, Pfizer is silencing governments. How? Through contracts. These airtight contracts are at the center of everything. They can silence governments in ways you can't even imagine. Look at what happened in Brazil. Pfizer agreed to supply its Wuhan virus vaccines to Brazil. And it sneaked in this clause in the agreement to force Brazil to not share any specifics about its deal with Pfizer. Let me read it out for you. This is what it says. The Brazilian government is prohibited from making any public announcement concerning the existence, subject matter, or terms of the agreement, or commenting on its relationship with Pfizer without the prior written consent of the company. In other words, Brazil cannot talk about the Pfizer deal until it gets an approval from Pfizer in writing. This basically is a private company muzzling a government. And that's not all. Pfizer also gets to decide who will get the shot. Suppose someone wants to donate Pfizer shots to Brazil. Can they do it? They cannot. The Pfizer agreement restricts Brazil from accepting donations. No one can donate Pfizer vaccines to this country. They cannot use the Pfizer shot until they buy it. What happens if Brazil does not comply with these rules? The consequences will be serious. Let me quote from the report again. If Brazil were to accept donated doses without Pfizer's permission, it would be considered an uncurable material breach of their agreement, allowing Pfizer to immediately terminate the agreement. Upon termination, Brazil would be required to pay the full price for any remaining contracted doses. So Brazil will have to cough up the entire payment, and Pfizer won't even have to supply the full consignment of Wuhan virus shots. What happens if someone accuses Pfizer of stealing its vaccine technology, of intellectual property theft? The government will be forced to defend Pfizer. It's unbelievable. We had to read this twice to let it sink in. And guess what? At least 4 countries have been forced to protect Pfizer's patent. Meaning these governments are defending Pfizer for intellectual property theft. While the company is free to use anyone's intellectual property as it pleases. Colombia is one of these victims. I'll explain with an example. Suppose a domestic vaccine maker or any pharma company in Colombia goes to court and they accuse Pfizer of infringing their vaccine patent. Who will be the one fighting that case? Not Pfizer. Even though they're the accused party, it's not Pfizer and their lawyers who will be in court. It will be the Colombian government. The government will have to defend Pfizer. And if they lose the case, it will be the Colombian government that will have to pay the settlement, not Pfizer. What if these governments want to get out of these tough contracts? They won't be able to sue Pfizer at home. The matter will go to a secret panel of 3 private arbitrators in New York. Pfizer will be tried as per New York law and not the laws of the land where it sells vaccines. And these countries will pay heavily if they lose in arbitration. Pfizer can ask a government to shift control of state assets to compensate for losses. What kind of assets are we talking about here? Practically anything that a sovereign government owns. Foreign bank accounts, foreign investments, commercial property, state-owned airlines, even oil companies. Pfizer can take over any or all of these from a government. Basically, everything happens in Pfizer terms once a country decides to buy its vaccine. Even the delivery of shots is decided by the company. In Brazil, in Albania, in Colombia, Pfizer gets to decide the delivery timetable for vaccines, and the countries will have to agree to whatever they're given, whenever they're given. Pfizer, of course, gets to decide the price. It sets the delivery timelines. It accepts accountability for nothing. And in case someone sues the company, it's the government that foots the bill for the damages, not Pfizer. There is no other way to describe Pfizer's business practices. This is vaccine terrorism. Vion is now available in your country.
Very interesting, and
that's insane. That's insane. They'll probably pull us just for that alone. That's insane. What did I watch? What was that?
That's what's happening.
Was I on drugs?
This has been known for months.
Was I on drugs? Was I high? What the fuck was that?
Well, yeah. Well, she says in there, like, she first covered this in February. And this now is just more and more of the contracts that they've been doing. It was only a couple of countries at first that they did this to. Now it's even more that they're doing it to. And the terms of these agreements have gotten more grievous. Yeah, they're literally bullying countries now.
But this also plays into their argument that they need IP, like they need to have the vaccine for all these countries. So it's actually helping to sell vaccines in a way. So it's going to help that narrative ultimately.
Yeah, it's
so disgusted. Yeah. That just disgusted me.
Because we need all these vaccines for all these countries. These people don't have the access that they need. That's going to be the narrative.
It disgusts me that a company could just come in and do that.
The vaccine isn't the terrorism. It's the
literally to the point of taking military bases. I was like, whoa. So when people say that, this isn't about money. Money has nothing to do with anything. Are you sure?
Oh, give me a Give me a
Are you
They
100%
bribed people
sure?
in the past, and they've paid a hefty price for the lawsuit
Oh
settlement.
my god.
Pfizer.
That's why I asked Chris Richards. I said, or not him, but somebody in his thread that was backing him. I said, "What news do you watch outside of this country?" Because when you start watching news
Oh
outside of the
god.
U.S., you start seeing like, "Whoa, what?"
Yeah, like the two sons last episode. That was crazy.
That's the reason why.
Oh my
That's the reason
god.
why people look at Americans like, "Are you guys just crazy, or are you stupid, or what's going on?" Because they're seeing this stuff. They're hearing about all this stuff in their news, and we're worried about, hey, well, what's going to happen on Squid Games? That's
Don't
what
talk
we're
Oh my
about it.
focused on.
god. You know, I'm reminded of that Simpsons episode where Lisa put a Canadian flag on her backpack, and she just said, "You know what? This is safer. It feels safe." She was in another country, and she put the Canadian flag on her backpack, and she said, "You know what? This feels safer. I'm just gonna do this."
I don't know what you're talking
That's
about.
what it feels like.
Well, you are. As somebody who's been to multiple countries and lived in multiple countries, you are safer as a Canadian than an American. I'll give you an example. We were on the Unitas cruise, and that's a cruise where you're out with multiple militaries. Um, when you looked over at the Spanish ship had their quarter deck watch. They had somebody at the pier, and they had one person in engineering. They literally had three people on watch on the whole entire ship. Most of the ships had maybe a handful. The American ships, we all had at least a third of our crew on some form of a watch. Rover watch, aft lookout. This person's sitting on the 50 cal. This person is sitting in engineering. This person is sitting up at the stern. I mean, at not is sitting up at the what am I thinking? Combat systems. This person is sitting up at the quartermaster station. We literally have somebody who's sitting there, literally sitting at every single spot, because that we have to always be ready to get the hell out of Dodge in case anything starts going wrong, or in case somebody's going to attack us. Nobody else is sitting up there that freaked out about possibly being attacked every 5 minutes, but the U.S. Going ahead. Sorry.
What happened? Where'd he go? He just disappeared. I don't know.
Don't know.
Oh.
No. Okay, there he is.
Sorry about that. I was saying, what's some of your thoughts on it? Hold on a second.
Go ahead, E.
Okay.
Right.
Repeat the question. I don't know why I keep doing this. Repeat the question.
We'll wait for him to come back so you can get on it. On a lighter note, I haven't watched Squid Games. I haven't watched all the Squid Games.
I don't even have Netflix. I've never watched it. And even if I was going to watch it, I would just find some other way to watch it that doesn't have anything to do with Netflix, if I cared that much about it. So I don't know. I guess I'm just one of those people that I just kind of hate streaming at this point. Like streaming anything. And that's partly because of ads. I hate ads. I hate all ads. I don't even give me shit I like, and I hate ads.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Netflix.
They don't have ads yet.
They ain't Hulu.
I suspect.
Well, they don't have ads if you have a good ad block as well. So, but I was grandfathered in with the good price, and it never changed. So I can't leave Netflix unless I want to pay extra. So they got me. That's the only reason I stay, is because it's $8.99.
But, and I'm not.
What is it now?
Variant. I'm not saying that people shouldn't watch Squid Games. I'm not saying they shouldn't watch other stuff to be entertained. I mean, for instance, I've been going back through watching Prison Break all over again. But what I'm saying is, so much of, and I'm not talking about the people who are engaged in our show. I'm not talking about some of these other content creators out there. I see Independent Left News is in the building, so I wanted to give a shout out. Give a shout out to them over there. But it's about, you gotta pay attention to all this other stuff that's going on, and be able to take your time to detox and break and all that. But so much of the Americans are literally like, well, I only care about what the Dodgers, if the Dodgers are going to win, and well, I want to see what's going on with Brooklyn, or I want to see what's going on with the Lakers, and are the Suns going to be the hot team this year? And so many Americans, their focus is on all of these other things, or some of the ones who think that they're engaged and think that they know what's going on, and they're like, well, Bernie Sanders was arguing with CNN and blah 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 blah, and thinking that that really matters. Bernie Sanders is a sheep herder, just like most of the rest of them. And if you're focusing on what legacy media is talking about, following the horse race, which that's all they're really about. Even when they talk about the bill, because I'll still watch some of these channels. I'll suffer through it so my crew doesn't have to, but I will suffer through some of these segments to see they ain't talking about nothing. All they're talking about is, well, are we going to have a bill that's, a 1.5 million bill, or is it going to be 1.9 million, or is it going to be 1.7 million? And then they might go into, well, college student loans, and talk about that for a couple of minutes. But they don't want to dig into any of it. They don't want to dig into what Americans get from these bills, what they're not getting, what's being cut out of the bills. They're not talking about anything of value, even when they are talking about these types of things. Now, me personally, I feel even if you're still focusing on the bills and stuff, it's kind of I don't want to say that they're misguided, but our politicians are completely bought and sold. And the only difference is the level and degree of how much you're compromised. Now, or is every single one of them just corrupt like Kirsten Sinema? No. All of them are not just in it for the money and just going to do whatever. Some literally came in with good intentions, and then they got steamrolled. Some of them, they thought, oh, I'm about to do this. And then they're like, hey, you remember that DUI that you had that, you thought you got away with? Well, we found out about it. Some of it is leveraged. Some of it is blackmail. Some of it is threats. They use every avenue they can to keep these people from doing what needs to be done to help us. And the moment that we start realizing that's what's going on, AOC came in talking about, I don't care if I lose my seat. Now, anybody with eyes and common sense and that's going to be honest about the situation can tell this woman is not trying at all to fight for anything anymore. She is trying to fight to save her seat. And if she has to kind of do a little bit of, signaling to make you feel like she's fighting, they'll do the signaling. Cori Bush, they had her out there with the homeless, little strike thing that they did. But look at where they are with all of these things now. You got to look at the results. And I used to argue back in the day, well, the Republicans are stopping this, the Republicans are that. That's not what's going on. And it's not just Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. You got Bob Menendez. You got Gottheimer in there. You got Pramila Jayapal in there, walking back her words. Oh, what'd you say?
Pelosi.
Well, Pelosi's always there. Pelosi is the ringleader in making this happen. See, what people don't realize what's going on with Pelosi is the one who gets the check and dishes it out to most of them. And she says, you know what? This time you're going to obstruct on this bill. And on this next bill, then you can come out and fight really hard so then you can kind of win some credibility back. And then you're going to go out and on this next bill, you can fight. And then there's a certain degree of them who just don't give a damn. They're like, well, we're just going to say no on damn near everything. I don't know if you guys saw it. This came out a while ago, but it's kind of start going viral again about I think he was with Exxon, where the oil executive literally came out and said, you know, how they get politicians to stop fighting for certain things. And you'll notice right now they're literally all talking about roads and bridges, roads and bridges, roads and bridges. We all got to build roads and bridges. And if you go into it, roads and bridges honestly are more local issues that should be taken care of. Your politicians on a federal level shouldn't be talking about necessarily roads and bridges. Um, that's what I'm saying. They are intentionally diverting away from what they say that they believe in. If you believe in climate change and that's your issue, then either stick with it or just say, you know what, we don't really believe it's that big of a deal. That's the reason why we're going to keep on passing these oil subsidies and we're going to keep doing this and we're going to keep doing pipelines. But they come out and they say, this is what we're trying to do. So why aren't your actions matching up for it? It's kind of like if we're all sitting in a house which is on fire and you say the biggest issue is to put this fire out, then you don't go and start folding clothes. You get what I'm saying? You don't start organizing the bookshelf when you got a fire in the corner over there. And that's literally what they're explaining. They're explaining that we have a fire going on and none of them are rushing to put it out. That should be a big, huge sign to everyone out there that these people are not being honest with us. That's all I want to say and put out there. You guys have anything to add?
No, just that I see Jimmy's comment there about Kucinich, and yeah, the Democrats drew him right out of Congress.
I'll go ahead and read it. And what's up, by the way, Jimmy? Glad to have you in here. I guess you slipped in here and I didn't notice. But Dennis Kucinich was the one that actually brought single payer to the feet of Obama, and Obama kicked him to the curb. Yes, he did. He kicked him like his name was Ronaldo, I'm telling you, or Pele or something. I mean, he wanted no parts of Kucinich, and he was like, "Can you just get this crumply old man with his dusty suits out of my space and bury him so that we don't have to deal with him anymore?" And as you notice, Kucinich struggled to get any traction. And also, if you notice how the media started covering him after that, they were always critical about everything, and it wasn't even substance criticism. It was, he doesn't really look like he's a fighter. You know, his ideas sound kind of crazy. It was nothing concrete. It was mostly character assassination, so we can delegitimize this person. Because most people in the kind of liberal sphere and let's just say establishment, because I'm talking left and right, and some of these libertarians who are following the official narratives. They are like people in high school. It's about, well, who looks the part, who sounds a certain way, who makes people feel a certain way. It's not about what you're actually doing. It's just like Biden right now. Biden is an old school, crooked ass, corrupt politician. His mindset is, if we can get stuff passed, doesn't matter if it's good or bad, we're getting stuff passed, people will think that we're getting stuff done. It's that guy you work with or girl you work with who you'll see over there sweeping the same spot for 20 minutes because they don't want to do any more work. That's that person. You know, so we all have to start being more aware of what the hell's going on. I'm going ahead, E.
No, I was just laughing about politics at this point. It's funny. Especially the bill. They're like, they're screaming about, oh, we got 1.9, 1.5 from 3.5. But I was like, dude, it used to be 10 point something trillion, right? I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? And then supposedly, we got some, disability got some type of a raise. What was it, 5.9%? You know how much that is to some people? That's like $40. You got them 40. You can't help but laugh. Just point and laugh at these politicians.
And
I halfway just want them to wear clown makeup and just stroll in and just start doing legislation. That's what they should start doing.
Kelly, that's right there. They belittled him about the UFO stuff. He was one of those people who they trashed and they dog walked about that. And now, what do you see the Pentagon releasing? UFO stuff, which when I was active duty in the Navy, I used to talk to pilots about this shit all the time. And they're like, hell yeah, we see stuff out there, but if we start telling people that, then they're gonna want to fit rep on us and figure out like, are you starting to go a little loopy out there? You've been too many hours in the air. Kucinich did put the bill about stopping chemtrails and geoengineering. I mean, he knew what the hell was going on, and they were just trying to shut that man up. Let's see. Jimmy had another one there that I want to read. Biden is the greatest puppet of the 1% of the 1% ever in office. He truly does not know what is going on with the COVID. That correct. He thinks it's not real. Biden, I mean, we got to remember, this man's nickname literally was Senator from MBNA. This man has been known to be the most corrupt. In my opinion, he is literally the most. That you don't get any more corrupt than Joe Biden. And he's literally on tape saying that, hey, I tried to sell myself. I tried to prostitute myself to the big wigs, and they told me to come back when I get a little older. Well, he's definitely older now. He's one of the oldest freaking presidents we've ever had. He's literally one of the oldest politicians that's, walked the halls of Congress. I mean, this man has almost 50 years. And if you don't think he's corrupt, all you got to do is look at open secrets. You can see who he's getting his money from, and you can see who's getting their way.
I got something for
Go on
that.
ahead.
That's funny you mentioned that. I wanted to show you this thing. You
got something you want me to put up?
It's from Open Secrets, so it's funny that you mentioned it. Speaking of which, let's look at that. I just sent it.
Mm-hmm. Thomas says, I saw hovering black triangle UFO with no sound 7 years ago in South Dakota while fishing. There is something to the UFO concerns of some people. Now the Pentagon is releasing video footage. You know why they're releasing video footage, Thomas? Because they're scared. You know what's recently been happening? These UFOs have been shutting down their nuclear systems.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Oh, got it? Okay. Yeah. They've been literally shutting down the UFO. They've been shutting down the nuclear defense system. So they're scared. They're like, hey, what the hell is going on with this? Go on ahead, El.
Pharmaceuticals, health products, top recipients, opensecrets.org. Joe Biden, right at the top, $8,247,506 from the pharmaceutical and health products industry. Why? I don't know. Donald Trump, number 2, just as always, $2,575,652. Bernie fucking Sanders, Senate, $1,264,615. Top 3 right there.
Mm-hmm. Top 3. 2 were presidents, 1 almost was. Do you guys see? It doesn't matter if you choose Bernie. Doesn't matter if you choose Trump. It doesn't matter if you choose Biden, because they're all corrupt.
This president is brought to you by Pfizer.
Pfizer and Goldman Sachs and Exxon and and Boeing and
Northrop Grumman.
literally, if they had to wear, and I know this, everybody knows this where I'm going with this. If they literally had to wear all their donors, they would look worse than NASCAR. I mean, I don't even think you could see all the names because they would just be overlapping. All the labels would be overlapping each other. It'd be like one of those ugly '90s like Fendi outfits where literally just Fendi.
No,
Fendi. It
it'll
would.
be the NASCAR. It'll be the NASCAR jackets.
Oh, it would be worse than NASCAR. It would have to be in like 12 font or 10 font. It would have to be super small so they don't overlap each
To
other.
get them all, yeah, to get all of them, every last one of them. Yeah.
It would literally just look like they just have like, the Bill of Rights just like written down their chest. I mean, these people are the most corrupt. And then here's the thing about it. All of these same neoliberals, people like Chris Richards over there, will sit there and defend Biden when they spent all their time trashing Trump about all these policies, which Biden is reinstituting. He's literally put in the same policies. The only difference is the way the media decides to cover it. That's the only difference than what's really going on. And stylistically, they're different. Honestly, Biden's just too decrepit to be in front of the cameras because they're really not stylistically different. If you let Biden start talking, Biden's going to insult and yell at people and all that stuff the same way Trump would do occasionally. So they're really not that different. They're both just people who come from a bygone era who are going to say some horrendous crap a lot of the time, and they're both just corrupt. See, what was that? There was a press conference held by only military personnel who shared their experiences with UFO back around 2010. We're going to start seeing more and more come out with this UFO stuff. Mark my word. Mark my words. Well, I see we're getting a little bit long in the tooth on the show. Almost
We have one
approaching
more
that
story.
3. What'd you say? You got another story?
Yeah, Eve had the homeless ban.
Oh yeah, that's right. The
encampment
The
ban.
homeless ban that was happening in California. I completely forgot about
Yeah, I
that.
want to discuss
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah, go ahead and take it. Here, I'll be right back.
Me
Go
or
ahead,
you,
Eve.
L? All I really knew about it was that I saw. Well, I only found out about it today. That apparently that they're doing this massive, I think massive homeless ban to like 81 places in California, and I'm like,
54.
It reminded me 54. I'm sorry. Okay.
I have
Thank
it.
you.
I'll
So-
put it in the chat here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Something to talk about.
Yeah,
From
we
San
have to wait
Diego
for Marcus to get back.
Tribune.
We have to wait for Marcus to get back because I can put it on there, but
I can
can't
read
put
it.
on the screen.
Where did I find it? I have so many tabs. Hold on. Oh, I know what I did. Okay. I had to send myself all these links.
Yeah, go ahead and send it. And I'll put it up, Chris.
Oh, okay.
They're not
Yes,
banning
LA
homeless
City
people.
Council.
They're just banning encampment.
LA City Council bans 54 homeless encampments. Yes, that's what I saw.
The same people who just put through the mandates for next month.
There you go. What's up, Marcus?
They care so much.
So this article is from 3 days ago, so it's recent.
Mm-hmm.
So what they say in a 12-2 vote, the city council outlawed.
Yeah, 12-2. Mm-hmm.
Wow, sitting, sleeping, and lying at 54 spots in 3 of its districts. That's probably all the spots where the homeless people hang out at.
Yeah, and libraries, elementary schools, parks, everywhere they
just
hang out.
need to give the police something to do. I mean,
They don't have enough. They
carry out
already
their-
got rid of some encampments in the area in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, and
what they've been
they're
doing
brutal
is
about that.
what they've been doing is they've
Go
been
ahead.
just corralling and moving the people. And
Yeah.
so they've been kind of pushing them more into a certain area, and they keep, condensing that area, condensing it, and that's what's happening.
Yeah, they're just going through with what they already put through in June, I believe, this year. They're trying to like actually this is Garcetti's like homelessness and initiative, like trying to get rid of homelessness. And our great governor said he was going to do this great campaign to rid us of homelessness too. But if you look at the bottom, I think there's like some crazy comment
I'm
there.
laughing at Misha's comment. Let's go, Brandon. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Yes.
That's good. Look, I remember what year was that they came to Tampa? Was that 2012 RNC or was that the 2008 RNC? Which one was that? I can't remember if it was 08 or 12, but whichever year that was that they came to Tampa, the mayor of Tampa was like, yo, all you homeless people, go to St. Pete. Like, just get from out of here. That was so when everyone descended into Tampa for the RNC, they didn't see all the homeless people. So yeah, just like Variant is saying in the comment, they will fly homeless people. They will give them bus tickets. They will give them train tickets whenever they don't want them in the town. Like I say, I live around a lot of homeless people. There's a lot of people in this community who are like, we need to do whatever we need to do to get rid of them. So I thought
they want to criminalize the homeless. Basically, they want to criminalize them. Basically.
Yes, you get evicted, it's your fault.
But a lot of the time, though, they're not committing felonies, right? So even if they do get arrested for little petty misdemeanors and they're not going to prison. They may go to jail for a couple days, weeks, maybe if they have older charges, but they're not being sentenced to prison. So the cops, at some point, they just stop locking them up because the paperwork is not worth it.
Yeah. I've seen someone get arrested like for trespassing. I put it on my YouTube channel, so you can check out an arrest in progress on one of my videos.
I know when
trespassing in a couch.
I know when I was in Jacksonville, before I moved out here, I remember when they made the law that if you fed the homeless, you would get fined.
Yeah.
For feeding the homeless.
Mm-hmm. I do that, so I'd get in trouble.
Donating food, donating any help at all.
Yeah, because there was a guy.
Initiatives in the stores, like during the holidays when it's convenient, they'll be like, "Oh, give this to homeless people," or give us your pennies or whatever, and then we'll take some of that and give it to these people, but also give them to homeless people at some point in the future, maybe. That's why you should always donate directly. It's so much easier.
Yeah, Jimmy, in the wintertime in the cold states, they'll jump a turnstile, like for instance in New York. They would jump the turnstile just so they can get arrested, go to jail, and be in there for at least a couple nights.
Yep.
Right? Because it's warmer there than it is in the street. So yeah, I've seen that. They'll send them in New York and New Jersey. They'll give them bus tickets to come down here to Florida. That shit is funny. Like that's some real shit. Like some of them, you talk to them, how'd you get here? Like bus ticket. For real? Okay.
And they send them out here to Cali too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. To vote.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Variant,
when it's
catch
convenient.
up. They talking dirty in the chat.
I thought I was a chub.
Yeah.
That's what I've always heard.
Yeah, that's funny. But Marcus, we already passed like 3 hours, man. It's like
that's it though. We got everything. Yay.
I think so.
Yeah, we did. We got everything.
I didn't forget you, E. I'm sorry.
Yes, we did. We managed to hit every story. And I mean, every story that I had on my list, the rundown and our major stories. So yeah, and then we even got into my category, which I like to jump into, talking about some UFOs. So yes, definitely a good show. And then Jimmy, you're gonna have to hit me up one of these times, and so I can invite you on here. I don't know if you get. Well, I could always just hit up Stevie, and then she can make sure to work the coordination or get you guys both on here. I mean, it would definitely be a lot of fun, and definitely aloha to you, my brother out there. Thank you, Lise. Um, and also, for you guys who don't know, make sure to go check out Lee's show, Lee's Live. Go check out Mana Talk with Jimmy and Stevie and the crew over there. Um, Thomas has a show. Go check out Thomas also. He said, "Yeah, I have to get her permission from her friends." Oh, I understand. Gotta listen to the boss, and make sure to tell her I said, "Hey, by the way, been busy. I haven't been able to really get over and check out you guys' content lately. Had a lot going on, but I do want to get over there and chop it up with you guys. It's always fun to share the different arenas and different thinking and all the stuff that we're all paying attention to. Because in this independent community, all of us creators gotta stick together. Because when it comes down to the end, we're going to be the people who, once these things start really starting to manifest themselves, they're going to start coming to people like us. Also, my brother Atres out there and Thomas, Oklahoma. Make sure that you go and check out everybody's channels in there. And if there are any other content creators, oh, I forgot, uh, left news on there. Go and check out all of these people.
Super
Be
awkward
familiar.
podcast.
Oh, what was that, Chris?
So the super awkward
Super awesome
podcast.
funky.
Yes.
Super awkward funky.
Oh,
I was
I'm
going to mention
sorry.
it.
Elle. I'm so sorry. Yes.
New
And
episode
Elle, our
coming up
co-host
soon.
here.
I think October
Thomas is
30th.
it's Thomas, Oklahoma. That's his channel, Thomas, Oklahoma. But yes, super fun. Don't say Chris because I always jumble it up.
No, go ahead, Al. Super awkward funkcast.
Yes.
SuperAutoFuncast.podbean.com for the show. New episode coming up before Halloween. Check it out. My birthday's coming up, and then I'll be at the protest for Priya's home.
Elle, is your birthday tomorrow?
No, it's on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday. All right.
Don't put that one up. I'm changing it.
It's the 27th. Okay, so we're like a month
There we
apart,
go.
more or less.
No, that's not it. Hold on. Yeah.
Do you join the 4-0 club now?
Come on, son. Stop putting my business out there, number one. Number one. Number two, Corona stole a year from me, kid. So
But we can see. I can see all that gray there. We know.
No, they stole. Fauci and them stole a year from me, so I'm turning 39 this year. That's my story. I'm sticking to that.
Dude, I'm probably turning about 87. I feel like each month is going in dog years or something. I don't know what's going on. This year is just like in fast forward, like that movie Click. Somebody hit the wrong button and it's just going crazy. So I thank everybody for tuning in out there, especially. Make sure to check out on my other channel what we've been thinking, not what I've been thinking, what we've been thinking. That's the name for right now. Talk of the Ages, Part 2. We will have our second episode coming out. That's me and Jalen Lawson. For those who noticed the name similarity, there is a relation to another co-host here on this show. I won't name who, but but yes, Jalen did superb in his debut show. I invite you all to go and check that out. And we will I'm not sure exactly what time we'll start tomorrow, but I will try to leave a heads up. It'll probably be later in the evening. Um, but yes, make sure to check that out. And the name of that show is Talk of the Ages. It's our two different generations talking about a couple of different things. Not sure our main topics, but one of our favorite topics most people do enjoy is or people enjoy it a lot. It will be going into our pop culture section and nostalgia. So we go into talking about a lot of different things, which are different between our generations and generations past, and um, especially if what was it, Wesley, who's he's a little senior to myself. He was throwing in some stuff that was throwing us for a loop, and it's a fun conversation. So uh, please come and check that out on the What We've Been Thinking channel. It's called Talk of the Ages again. Um, I will be, like I said, I will be working on that, working on doing that upload of the Matrix, the first one again, and I got a couple of movie breakdowns that I'm going to be doing soon. So make sure to look out for that on this channel, of course. And then as soon as I figure out how the hell to get this Rumble thing situated, I'll let you guys know how to find us over there. I might create a banner to go through so you guys can be able to find it on there. So I thank you everybody for joining in. Um and thank you for my co-hosts, all three of you guys for always coming on and doing the work of the good, doing the Lord's work. It's funny. It's funny when you talk about those little pastors. You got to literally sound like a demon while you're talking about the Lord. I don't know. I don't know what that's about.
That's like
But
my man from Coming to America. Give it up for Randy Watson. Give it up for Randy Watson.
that boy's so talented, sexual chocolate.
That's a chocolate. That's a chocolate. I like his homeboy. He's sitting there talking about that boy good.
Oh, good. Damn, that boy good. Yeah, he is.
Man, his homeboy talking about good and terrible. I love that movie.
That boy gonna be the next Lenny Bruce.
That's what we should do, kid.
Me and Chris, we might even create another show where we just goofing off the whole damn time. So if y'all interested in that, let us know. I mean, we trust me, we have fun also besides some of these serious topics that we get into. So
Correct.
let us know. Also, if you sports fans out there, my man Chris, that's the man to talk to. So I might even say if he want to just do a political matrix sports edition and go in on some sports streams if he got the time, of course. So all looking at trying to do a bunch of different things, with the channel and keep it fun, keep it interesting, keep you guys, around. So make it fun. Kelly,
I'm out of here. Kelly, you funny.
All right,
right?
you guys have a safe weekend. Don't be too crazy out there.
Keep it in your pants.
Aloha, ciao, sayonara, adios. All of those good salutations to all you wonderful people out there. And thank you again for tuning in with us. You guys have a good one.
Thank you.